3, 2, 1.
Woo! 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 Oh, show!
Oh, Titus
my
O'Neil.
God, kicking table and the computer just shook.
It is,
No one was mad that you cut the whole. You can go anywhere. What the do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. God. They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
That Dallas.
stupid.
What did I, when that's like part of my Christmas.
Dun, 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 dun.
What happened to Vin?
I'm
Vin froze.
Looks like I'm not
Vin's frozen now. I gotta
Where's
fix
Joe?
that. Vin's frozen.
I'm glitching
For some reason.
looking at my phone.
We're live.
Hi.
And Vin is frozen.
Live
so
show, live
now
problems.
I gotta troubleshoot. Rob, you know what to
Listen.
do. Buy us time.
I'm gonna buy his time by showing
Buy us
off. What's in
time,
the
Saint,
fucking
yeah.
box? It's been
Oh,
forever.
what's in the
Mano.
box?
What's in the
Tell
box? All right, so I got some new toy sculpts they came out with the Marvel Legends line. This is called the Maximum series, and it's also maximally priced, unfortunately. But they are hyper posable. It looks like there's some new shoulder joints for Spidey, so if you can see on the back of the box, you can
Vin's
really make him
Oh, I'm fooked.
pose in all the different bendy shits that he does. But then you got the Hulk here, and what makes this one unique is now he's got like a rubberized chest piece, so it kind of flexes in, so he actually has range of motion for his arms, which hasn't been seen in a Hulk figure. But overall, they're pretty good looking figures. I like the colors, but I'm actually really excited. They announced recently, and some of the pre-orders for the Target exclusive are already gone. They're doing a Marvel Legends series, but not for the Capcom side, but Marvel versus Capcom or
Language.
Marvel Superheroes.
Choose the language.
They're doing the language. Yeah,
I choose the language. Sorry.
They're making the Marvel Superheroes figures, so they're coming out with a 2-pack
see.
of Captain America and Venom, which I've put in a pre-order for. The pre-orders are gone already for the Target exclusive Thanos and Psylocke. It's a new sculpt for Psylocke. She looks great. They're going to be coming out with a new Juggernaut, single pack. Looks awesome. Scaled to the right size and everything. They're coming out with a Shuma Gorath figure, but of course they're not calling him fucking Shuma Gorath. They're calling him Gargantos or Gigantos.
They couldn't get the.
You know what it is? It's owned
intellectual.
by the people that own the rights to Conan, and they didn't want to pay money to those people, so they decided to fucking change the fucking name of Shuma Gorath. But that's really who it is in Doctor Strange.
What they call it, Gigantor?
Yeah, some kind of bullshit. It's a set.
Arcantos, you said?
Yes, Gigantos.
Gigantos.
Or Gargantos, something like that. Some kind of horse
Shuma
shit.
Gorath sounds like Shea Gorath from like the Elder Scrolls games.
Oh, no, this came before that.
Do
But
you
yeah, this is
believe
from the
in
Marvel Superheroes
life after
games and
love?
Marvel vs. Capcom. And, yeah, they're coming out. And then, there's another sculpt for Wolverine that's supposed to have the same kind of posability as these new Maximum figures.
Nice.
And that's going to come with Omega Red. Oh, no, Silver Samurai. Comes with Silver Samurai. They are making an Omega Red, though. I forget who comes with him.
Just looking
But
around.
it's like just a bunch of figures coming out for that new line, and what's nice about it is it's new sculpts. It's not like they're trying to give you the same fucking figures
Rehash
over
the same
and over.
model.
Because fucking Star Wars, I love Star Wars, but their merchandising is like they're just unabashed. I mean, I remember in the fucking 90s they came out with the 100th Darth Vader figure. I'm like, They already have 100 different versions of Darth Vader. At this point,
Guys are really milking
I wonder how many there are now.
Fabric
Now that Disney
cape.
owns it, there's probably going to be like the
Plastic cape.
5,000th Darth Vader. Whoa,
By
here you
now.
go. This one has a slightly flexed finger.
I don't know how you keep
Collectors
up with
want
it.
it.
And you're
I don't know
gonna
how
buy
you
it.
keep up with I'm looking around. I see Tekken, Street Fighter, fucking
Yeah, I'm
G.I.
gonna.
Joe. We got what? The other champions over
I
there.
figured before we go into martial law, I'd, get as many toys as I can.
God, yeah, really.
I think
When we
to
bunk it down, I can create a society of action figures.
I think to
Keep my
fix
sanity when I'm by myself and the internet shuts down.
Just do massive scale Infinity War battles in the basement.
I mean, it wouldn't be different from what I did as a kid, you know.
Definitely not.
Same place too. Fucking.
Just cooler
That was my
figures.
room. There was so back in the day, we used to have a red carpet through this whole part of the basement, and I would just lay on the floor and play with the guys. And I had these big bins and shit, and I would just dig
love-
through them. And half the time, I was just looking for what I was looking for.
all those bins are in the attic now, right?
Yeah, it's a sin.
I think to fix Vin's frozen picture, you gotta unplug and replug the capture card.
It's a power issue, you think? Why would it be a power?
I don't think it's power. I think
It's
the
on the
capture.
floor
I think
over there.
the
Oh, it's on the
Elgato.
Elgato.
Crapture
The
card.
cat isn't responding.
Negro.
If you give it a,
It's a sin.
if you give it, but just make sure you don't unplug me and Rob because then we'll have just total darkness like the end of The
Hello,
Sopranos.
darkness, my old
Hey, it worked for The
friend.
Sopranos. Yeah, see, welcome. See, we're gonna be doing a show, old
We
fashioned.
got-
See,
we got the live show. See, now we're all on the camera together. Isn't that nice?
there we go. See
Yeah,
how
we got
cramped
the
we
whole
are.
show on one camera.
All of a sudden, it worked fine. We go live. Vin's capture card just
the whole
freezes,
thing just
and
went to shit.
look,
It was a sin.
here he is, frozen, looking at his phone, but he's also right there. Oh, that was
Oh,
you
you plugged the
you got the
wrong
wrong
one.
one.
Oh
You
no!
got the wrong one.
See that? Oh, we're
There
back.
goes our Hollywood opportunity.
That's it. Hollywood. Yeah, I got a face for radio.
Okay, all right. So we gotta see. Get the
And then
other
we got
one.
a white
We'll
box.
see.
Up. What's happening?
Tricky Ricky's in the house.
Hells.
Hells is in the house.
Are you down?
Hells, Tricky Ricky.
What do you think?
Jackson, the
Let's get a
game
vote
dude.
in chat for the 6 people watching. Should I open up the Hulk and Spider-Man on the show or should I not?
You should show. I mean, that's really like his fucking pecs, dude, is really carved in there. Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
it's
seen
like
such
like
a
it's
deep
rubbery, so
crevice
it's like-
for the Hulk. That's very
Yeah.
defined. It's like a carved piece of plastic.
And I have other like heads because I'm really not wild about the
Okay,
heads
so
that
let me
came
see
with.
if
It
I
looks
can-
stupid.
Mitigate Vin here. Choose the language.
Van can handle
Every time we turn on this camera, you gotta choose the language to be English.
English.
It's us. There we
There
go.
he is.
He's a little
Vin's
blue
back.
now. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Why not?
Not back.
Hold on.
There
Bam.
it is.
Bam. There we
it is.
go.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
There we go.
We got it. Vin's
Here
back
I
in
am,
action.
Like it matters.
Here he is.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Boom.
Fuck out of here.
Star of the show.
Plus, you got Peter
Right.
Griffin sitting next to you.
Yeah, the Jujutsu.
This guy here. Wait, is he Peter Griffin in real life?
Is that
That's
that
him.
Peter
Is it
Griffin?
him?
Is that
No,
him?
just going back to what you were saying about the big action figure battles in your basement. It makes me think of that like meme I keep seeing, which is like, you're playing in the bathtub with your action figures, and then it's like the lore, and they're showing like this huge battle, all these ships flying, everything's exploding. I'm like, yeah, imagination as a kid.
That was me with the pool.
great.
Yeah, I used to
Now
do
my
that shit with the
imagination
pool.
sucks. Now I need 4K 60 frames per second, or else it sucks, and I can't do it.
It's garbage. It's trash.
It's gotta
Anyway,
gotta have blood.
it's gotta have
have
blood.
simulated
Can you
violence.
decapitate everyone in the whole building.
Fully destructible environments.
Yeah. My
We
God.
still don't have that. I don't know if we
Wait,
ever will.
what's the poll? Are we gonna open your? What do you got?
Nobody
They don't
nobody
care.
cared enough.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Cares.
We're on
Nobody
delay. Though. You gotta
cares.
remember, we're on delay.
Ola, what do you think? He's gonna be the voice of real. Oh, I'm
Ola's
sorry,
gonna be the only
Hells.
one that cares.
If no one cares, then we'll move on. But
yeah, it's
Hells will be
or
like,
you just open it up.
just open it, dude.
just open it. Chris wants me to open it. All right, well,
Let me
that's
see it.
That's
okay.
all. That's all Rob
Give
needs.
me that.
Rob's
The
your
other
peer
thing
pressure,
in your hand.
Spider-Man?
your
No,
ability
the thing
to
in your
reject
hand.
peer
Oh, he
pressure
wants
is
this.
0.
Yeah, the other toy.
Oh,
Yeah, the lightsaber.
the lightsaber.
To the
Whatever.
moon.
It smells.
Chris is getting loaded.
Yeah, I'm finally letting loose.
Hey, Joe.
I already had a migraine, so my
Closing the house. I can't
cup's
see the
empty.
comment section. That speaker's right in the way.
said, "How you doing?"
How you doing? All right. Well, What else you got going on, bud? You've been all over the place.
Oh man,
seen you all over the
over the
internet.
fucking place. I went
Good.
viral with Mandy again as Peter
which
and
one?
Lois because a girl posted a picture of her leaping into my arms and then smoking a J with me outside of
Oh,
Brooklyn
that's
Comic Con.
right. You guys are just hanging out outside.
So that shit just
I
like
saw
went
that.
viral. So that was really funny, and
Classic.
When
it
you just
keeps getting
randomly see-
reshared to like meme pages now. It's just like
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
the tweet.
You're just walking down the street in New York City, you turn and
Yeah,
you
you
see
can.
Lois jumping into Peter Griffin's arms. You're like,
And then smoking a
am
J.
I on fucking drugs? What is this?
People were throwing it into AI, and there was like a
Oh,
an
Jesus.
AI cartoon. They
I'm
like
getting a little AI
Griffinized us.
resentful, I gotta be honest.
it was kind of funny though.
But yeah,
No, you know, it's sick, but I kind of enjoy the AIs where they're like talking about being AI.
I don't
Where they're like,
listen.
I'm not made up of prompts. They're like fighting back, and it's so funny. I don't know why I enjoy that shit.
It's one of those.
yeah, there's a
it's
lot
one
of
of
good
those
AI shit.
inventions that, like, we just don't know what the outcome's really going to be.
Your relatives
all
are never
the
going to die
warning-
again. you
All
know,
the
'cause they're
warning
gonna, like,
signs are there.
there's going to be like they're going to take all the data that they've gathered about you
Yeah.
throughout the years, and they're just going to like implement that into an AI that's going to replace you when you're dead.
I don't give us much longer. After
And your
that, though.
family has to pay a premium to have access to your AI if they want to continue to talk to grandpa.
Yeah, it sounds. You know why it sounds so believable and true? Because it's like the worst case scenario, and that just seems to be the most likely thing.
I don't
Hell
think it's a
said
bad thing.
don't
I want to
open
live on an engram. Fuck it. I always, honestly, I had it like
Imagine if
20
Napoleon
years
was
ago
still
or whatever.
alive, or fucking. Any
I get
one
that.
Of these fuckers
I
was
get
still
that,
alive. And
but-
they're the only ones that are gonna live, not us.
years
No,
well, yeah, the rich people will be able to have the best version of it. I'm just saying that years ago, I thought of an idea for an app where you have to answer like hundreds of questions of like different categories: politics, religion, family, whatever the fuck, morality, all these different categories of questions, and then you give it your honest opinions on everything, and pretty much answer everything that you could
Nobody
possibly
answers those.
explain
Yeah,
about
Jesus.
yourself.
Truthfully, though.
And then it would, if you're
creates-
dead, they scan you, and then when you're dead, there's a little Chris
right.
walking around that could,
creates alternate projections
you to go
of
fuck yourself.
self because you see yourself as like not perfect, but less fallible than you really are.
it would create an idealized version of you.
Yeah.
It's just
A
like
horseshit
Instagram and
corporate-
social media creates a idealized picture.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Welcome. Join us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Well,
like,
clap for
Sure.
Chris's AI.
It would definitely be the side of you probably that you would want people, but that's what
the most
biographies are.
annoying side.
That's what
People
autobiographies
just want the
usually
real
are.
you. They don't want any polished version. They want the
Yeah, but
authenticity.
at the
is
same point,
Nobody wants the real
you
me.
mean to tell me if I died tomorrow
like-
and you
they
could
want
have a
their
little
steak.
hologram Chris telling you guys to go fuck yourself, that wouldn't give you some laughs and,
we have
and bring you
thousands
some
of hours
tears?
of video technically now.
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
Lot of-
Thousands.
I was like, wow, this is our legacy. This is what we'll leave.
Yeah.
You can find this on the internet in 20 years.
The ADHD podcast.
I don't know if that's a great.
And all 7 of our greatest followers and friends here.
Yes, that's true. It's a great record. of
Hell
all the
said I
things
can't
we've
open
gone
my
through.
toys, so I guess that's it.
It's the most comprehensive
Hells,
record.
don't open it.
Unless somebody had the record to our PlayStation Network chat, which that wouldn't be healthy either.
Oh no. It'd be
Good for nobody.
Even
Those
the-
are gonna come
just
out
the
one
names
day.
of those
I stand by
chats,
everything
you know,
I've ever
it's-
said.
Stand by everything.
Never
This
said
guy-
anything in a party.
I stand behind.
The virtuous Chris. who's
Pee
never
with the
said
seat
anything
down. Don't want to ever get a pedicure.
How you guys?
Think
Hey,
it's
how's the
slavery.
chat feel? How would you feel if the PlayStation Network chats leaked out to the internet and were available readily?
Or any chat for that matter.
Your group chat.
Text messages.
Yeah, that one.
Anything.
That one has some
Fucking
explaining.
porn search history. You know, it's just all out there.
Google's got it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't let them fool you. Incognito mode is an incognito for anyone.
And Verizon's got it, and whoever else provides you the internet
Verizon.
has it. The NSA has it. You know what I mean? It's just yeah.
I use NordVPN. I don't have to worry.
And for all those out there, actually, you could use Proton VPN. That one's free.
Proton. I don't trust.
Sounds
I
good.
don't trust it.
Swedish company.
Swedish
Spanish?
people.
Oh,
You think I trust Swedish people?
Yeah.
They're the most nefarious of all
Swedish?
Norwegian type people.
I like their fish.
Their country's privacy laws are thorough.
I could just imagine a Swedish person saying that, sitting at a table across from like Gustavo Fring. Our country's privacy laws are quite.
You could do
lucrative.
banking over there, and it's like invisible money. It's great.
It's beautiful.
Belgian, Dutch people wearing
like
wooden
Bitcoin,
shoes
you
and
know, but-
tap dancing on your.
With banks.
I'd like to move my money from the Cayman Islands to my Swiss bank account.
So we're talking games today, right?
I mean, yeah,
That's
everything
where
There are
that's
a
happened
lot
over
of
the last-
games.
you know what, we had 3 different shows. There was 3 different announcements. There was PlayStation State of Play. There was the
Xbox.
Summerfest Game Fest. I think it's called Game Fest summer event, and then Xbox
Summerfest.
had theirs just on Sunday. So yeah, we've been getting a lot of gaming news.
And the Switch 2 dropped.
And the Switch 2 dropped, which I know for us, not a
and
big
nobody
deal.
cared.
It's the
Nobody cares.
highest selling.
Highest
first
selling.
release,
So,
3.5
but so is
million.
Fortnite. Kanye West was the highest fucking streaming.
Compared to
It doesn't
Switch
mean
2
that
to
it's
Kanye
good.
West?
Yes, I'm immediately making the
The
connection
dumbest thing I've
between
ever
Switch
heard.
2. No, because it's
And that happens every
it is a
week, so-
logical fallacy. It's an appeal to something to say, oh well, it sells, so it's good.
It actually answers a question. Answers, let's say, a statement that you've made on the show, which is like, we'd always bother you. Why haven't you played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? And everything that I've seen, heard, and read, and Joe could back this by being in a GameStop and witnessing this firsthand. It's playing Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom is the way it was always meant to be played. So now that it has the
Oh, now you could finally play it, and
4K,
it'll look a
yeah.
little better, but it's still gonna
little,
look.
I mean, no,
It's still not gonna
much.
look.
At 60 frames per
I'm not
second.
playing
on your
that shit
OLED.
again, though. You know?
Well, for people who've already played, that's a tough one to go back and start at the beginning.
You know, that's a
Right now.
lot of gaming. I put
And
a
you can
lot of
also
hours
play,
into that shit.
what's the other one there? Because what they have access to, like a GameCube.
Oh yeah,
emulator.
what you pay fucking $15 a month and you can play all the classical games. What does the
Wind
Switch
Waker.
2 cost?
$4.99.
$4.99.
That's
Isn't it?
the barrier.
It is an LED screen.
It's not an OLED.
It's not an OLED.
Nope.
So $500 for an LCD handheld.
I'm just giving you the facts, dude.
No, I know.
not Nintendo.
I'm. You're.
Yelling at me.
This
I'm not
isn't.
getting
This is a
persecuted here.
deposition right
not
now.
buying
Whether
that
you
shit.
know it or not, this is a deposition.
$4.99 is clearly out of
When are we
hand
getting an
when it
OLED
comes
Switch
to
2? That
asking,
becomes the question then.
you know, for a Nintendo system to spend $4.99, that's a big fucking ask. I could get a trade-in value. I could pay $3 and change, whatever, but I'm not going to do it because there's really no reason for me to do it because I have a backlog of PS5 games that is fucking deep. I have a backlog of Switch 1 games that is deep.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy a $500 fucking system.
So
at
more
all.
questions because I honestly literally know nothing about the Switch right now. Does it still do like you put it on the base station and it
It's got
plays
the
on your
dock.
TV, the dock,
gives
and then
you 4K now.
the controllers pull off?
The
Yes.
controllers are magnetic instead of slide-on.
Oh, 'cause that was actually a problem that I still have to this day with my Switch is that controller,
Dislodge.
and then it always thinks it's trying to connect to it when it's not,
Oh,
and then it pops up,
horrible.
ding ding, pain in the ass. No, I'm not
I
getting.
will
I'm
say
not getting
that,
the Switch
yeah, no,
too.
When I got my launch Switch, I had to replace the original Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
But it's on the system.
Apparently, there's reports of drifting with the fucking Switch 2 Joy-Con, so they're doing a free replacement program. Like, what
Well,
the
can
fuck?
I- can I-
Didn't
can
you
I-
change the
I,
mechanism?
want to talk some
assholes?
shit too, gaming wise. Laser
Yes.
Mods fucking sucks. They were the ones that made that PlayStation. Remember, I had the classic PlayStation repaint controller that
The Red
before,
Dead?
before
Oh,
it came
the
out.
30th
The Red Dead
anniversary,
one?
right.
So no. I'm talking about. it
Oh,
looks
the
like
one that
plastic.
was paint. Yeah.
Exactly.
You were.
It was
You
a
were.
custom order.
He was flaunting this thing around, saying this thing is great. It's better than the one that Joe got.
3 months ago. I started experiencing such severe stick drift. It was affecting gameplay, and I had to stop using it. And
Take it
I've
out.
made 4 different attempts to reach out to them, and they've answered.
disappeared.
But isn't it
off
just
the
a
face of the
regular
earth.
Their-
PlayStation
their
5
phone-
controller
When you
painted?
call their phone, it says that they're not there,
Oh,
no matter
that's
what
nice.
time of day or what day of the week. And I've sent 2 emails with no response.
It's a healthy sign of fraud.
And it's always like gold plating or like or dips, like stuff like that. They're always like these shisty businesses.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know what it is. Whenever
it's
they
like one
dunk something
person
into
who's
something,
like,
they
I could do this, and then
Yeah.
they try. They do a handful of them, and then they're like, "Yeah, I can't keep this up.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is too much work."
they start getting late on the orders, not sending shit. But wasn't it just a dipped like PlayStation controller or something? Wasn't it?
No,
painted?
they
Like
replaced the parts.
Yeah,
Like
it was the buttons, the whole thing.
they it's a real controller, and they made their own shell and buttons and stuff. And
Oh, so it's a totally third party controller.
No, it's a first-party controller with third-party shell and buttons.
Yeah. It's
But-
tough enough buying a first-party controller. and
It has
being
third-party
fully
parts
reliable
on
at
it?
this point.
Or it's
What's that?
all it has third-party parts on it, or
Yes.
Definitely, because it's
Yeah.
like the colored X triangle.
It's
circle.
a third-party analog, third-party shell,
yeah.
third-party
I mean,
buttons.
it's almost to
But
be
the
expected.
inside is an actual, like...
Those gimmicks never last, honestly. You know, any of those.
But
those...
it lasted less than a year, and I've never had a controller that
sucks.
lasted less than
You remember getting like a third-party like Nintendo 64 controller, and it
I
had like the
remember
turbo
buying
button. They were always
PS
shaped weird.
Yeah,
I'm
what,
talking about?
Sega.
Yeah, the shitty
I
ones.
remember Sega had the turbo controller,
That never
the
worked
Switch
right.
on it. But I remember buying a lot for like PlayStation, like PS1. I got a few of them.
Yeah.
And then the last time I ever did it was with a PS2 controller. I got like a third party. It looked cool or something, and it just dog shit. So I never went third party again. I
PS3
don't
was
care
the
if
last
the
one.
I had a lot of
PowerA,
cool PlayStation
or
2
shit.
controllers.
I
Like,
only go first party, even though the first party ones have been.
PS3 was the last one, but that was because it was a Batman Arkham Asylum fucking controller, and it looked like a Batarang. It had the same layout as the Xbox controller, funny enough, and it lit up like with LED, like it would have like the like
It's like,
whatever
this
color
is
you
cool
wanted, blue or
for
whatever.
5 minutes.
Oh no, I to the end of that system, I've used that fucking.
That worked for that long?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
It
I thought
still
you meant-
works,
I thought
yeah,
you meant it sucked.
But that was the last, time I ever got like a third, until
That
this
worked.
fucking.
I had a lot of cool shit on PS2. I had one that you could take out the little modules and switch them around.
Yeah, you're
So I
big
had-
into that.
I
You always
love
get,
those
like, the-
third-party things. I mean, that one controller I had where you could switch the modules and make it like an Xbox controller. Love
I
that.
do like that.
I had one with fans in it. I had one with a
agree.
screen on it that would let you remap the buttons, which I thought was the most amazing thing because I would play Halo. Actually, I think I used it on the 360 because I would play Halo and I hated that the melee button was like the analog stick or whatever because when you're moving you would accidentally hit it and then lose the kill. So I remapped the buttons because you couldn't just do it in the game. Now you can just do it in the game.
Yeah, no, they
Kids today don't know how
Oh.
good they have it.
just kick the shit out of that.
Kick the
Sorry.
camera. That's weak. Yeah.
Comfortable.
So Nintendo Switch 2, not gonna get it.
That's I think a lie, but it's all right. You can
A
tell yourself
lie? You
that.
think I'm gonna get the Nintendo Switch?
I
Not
think
for a
it's gonna
long.
be a healthy year or so before I
I have
even,
no.
Same for me.
think about it.
It's identical the way I felt about the Switch. I saw the Switch get released. I was like, I do not give a living shit about this thing. I will not buy it. I do not care.
I wanted the Switch
Then
because of Mario Odyssey. I actually wanted to play.
Mario.
Listen here, Mario. I really wanted to play Mario Odyssey. They haven't announced a Mario game yet. have they?
You're right. You're getting towards what I'm thinking. When they announce, a Switch
The
2
new
only
Mario.
Zelda, Super Smash, Mario Party. It's
I think
gonna
they're
all
supposed to come out with a new the fuck is that name? Metroid too.
another Metroid would be nice. $4.99 still though. Like no matter what, I think is always gonna feel like a reach. I hope.
That's more than the PlayStation Portal. PlayStation Portal's cool in that thing.
I will give the break that we always continue to like downplay how much it takes to make 4K graphics work. Like 4K is it requires some
Yeah, but
high
Nintendo
horsepower.
is one of the richest companies in the world. You
It
can't
doesn't
tell me
matter.
that they don't have the.
They're rich because they fucking charge a lot for their shit, and they're all first party.
I'm
Come
just
on.
saying, it's not like
Strategy
they don't have
works.
the fundage to make
They've
it.
been doing it
look
for
good.
30 years.
But I'm saying the
You telling me
bar
they
now
couldn't
for
make it an
next
OLED
gen
It's not
gaming.
that. Switch
It's not
2?
about- they're
The
not-
bar for next gen gaming and this fucking the reason why you guys all made me get this fucking LG TV that we all have the same one is that you have an
If you didn't-
OLED high def 60 frames per second 4K.
No,
And
nobody
OLED is part
promised
of that.
Nobody promised that.
It's not about being promised.
What's the justification?
It's about
for not
having
making the
it
Switch
now
2
and
OLED?
not having it.
You want to pay fucking $6.99? How much you want to pay for this thing? OLED's the most expensive component in history still to this day. It's the most expensive thing to produce because it has the highest failure rate during production. So to make good quality OLED is very expensive. It's actually because you're going to see something called micro LED take over the next few years because it's like 5 to 10% not as good currently, but it's 50% cheaper to manufacture. So you'll see TVs that are OLED comparable, but for $4.99 or $2.99. You know what I mean? You'll get into them. Well, maybe not with these fucking, trade problem, but they're going to come out with another technology that's not quite as good, almost like laser disc and DVD. Like DVD was lower quality, but it was so cheap to manufacture, it was just became the standard. So you're probably going to see these mini LEDs come out, and you might see a Switch 2 that's actually mini's wrong. It's micro LED. Sorry, micro LED. So anyway, yeah, the component wise, you don't want to pay that price. You don't want to pay whatever. I think it's like $189.
If that's
for
true,
that
why did they
panel.
bother making an OLED Switch?
Because that system's been out for so long. It was a great way to extend to let them.
Yeah,
you know,
so they're
going to
come out with this, and then in a few years they'll come out with
they
the
know
OLED Switch
how much
2.
it's going to cost to print the GPUs that they want 3 years from now. They have a pretty good idea because they're already talking to the manufacturer, like NVIDIA, to say, like, oh, the roadmap in 3 years takes us here. Okay, how much does it cost then? And they'll say, well, they'll probably reduce, cost by 20% over the course of 3 years. And that's how they can shoot for that figure and say, well, I'd bet it'd be $399 if we were in a more favorable economic situation. I think $399 would have been the right price to really push people. Because if you could trade in a Switch or an OLED Switch for like,
for like
200,
yeah.
right, that would have been. I think that was probably the plan. But at this point, the demand was high enough, and they knew they don't know what the trade situation is. They don't know how much more of a.
Oh, yeah, we're all cooked.
Yeah, so they were like, $499, and that's just what it is. And it's definitely, it goes in the category at the PlayStation Pro where it's like, ooh, it's like $100 too much. If it was $100 cheaper, I'd be way more. I'd be thinking about it a lot more. I'd be like, maybe. I like to get value out of items to trade them in because I don't hang on to shit for.
You
10
can't. You
years.
can never say never. With all these shits,
Exactly.
especially me.
That's why I make that face when I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna turn around one day, Rob's gonna be like, yeah, I got the Switch too. Like
Yeah, but I'm not-
Christmas time
but I
or some
can't-
shit.
Oh, he'll definitely get it.
Like right now, financially, I just really can't.
Oh, I agree. No.
Even if somebody was like, "Here, you want to buy this right now," but I can't.
You'll probably just
Literally
get one.
can't.
Somebody will get you one for Christmas.
Nobody's gonna get. Nobody gets
Christmas
fucking
or
game
something.
systems anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody's got me a game
He's
system
spoiled.
since fucking PlayStation 2. Last fucking system that was bought for me.
Listen, nobody cares.
No, maybe the 3. No, I bought the 360, and I bought the Wii.
Well,
So
aside from that shit.
along the lines, Oler, sorry, I should give this code name Hells, said, what did he say here? He said, better off with a Steam Deck. So wasn't there another handheld, not a Steam
Well,
Deck, but
Xbox,
something?
I mean,
So yeah, the Xbox Ally, the Republic of Gaming, it's called the ROG Ally. So basically, it's a third-party Xbox Game Pass capable and Xbox branded handheld. It's probably going to cost like $699 because it can play games natively. So you could download games onto the handheld, and
is it gonna have a desktop mode, kind of like the Steam Deck?
so yeah, it's going to be running Windows 11 mobile. So it's cool. The thing that's really cool about it is that it can also run Steam OS on it. Or not Steam OS, sorry. It can run Steam library games on it. So
That's
you're almost
interesting.
getting like a crossover PC, Xbox. It's really more about the branding than anything,
Do they
People
have a pricing for it yet?
No, not official, but if you look at the current available ones, Steam Decks, and they are Windows
Operating
handheld
system.
ones. Yeah, there are ones where you can still use Game Pass. This one's just like officially branded Xbox. They're like $699. So it's like $700.
Cheaper than a PC.
Right, that's pretty much the trade off, And it's really Microsoft's first step into what might be the next Xbox, which will be a console that hooks up to a TV but can also run Steam games. So if you have a Steam library,
It'd be an interesting way of streaming if you're able to hook that up to like a capture card directly, and then just,
yeah, it's weird because it would be the PC in a sense, So they would they'd be best served by doing like what Nintendo did, which is like integrate the camera into the game and shit. But yeah, I think I don't know. I wouldn't pay $700 for it. I don't know why.
Well, the way I see it, it's like a lower level entry to PC gaming. Some people Like, remember when we used to use the NVIDIA GeForce Now?
Yep.
Which was like, you
It's the
could,
only way
on
you
like
could
your
PC
shitty little
game on a
computer,
Mac.
you can stream it, and we would play PUBG.
Yep.
And we had a lot of fun. Him, me, and
I don't love
Eric
the
and Phil.
handheld gameplay. Like when I
Me
was a
neither.
kid, I was huge into it. You know, Game Boy and all that stuff. But
Right.
never
as an
been
adult,
into it.
I don't know if it's
I hate.
eyesight or like the experience, but I just like the TV. I like watching it on television,
Yeah.
and that's really a big reason why I don't stream, because I like playing my video games on my fucking nice ass TV and the highest resolution.
Right.
You have to
That's
sacrifice all that when you stream because you have to turn
Looking at
off
a
the
computer
HDTV.
monitor. And,
You're looking at a computer, and then I gotta watch the chat and this and that. It's like, you know, how many of my personal hobbies are going to turn into a monetization opportunity? I'm like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's also just a matter of comfort, though, because when you're sitting there, I don't know
My
what it
hands
is,
go
whether
numb.
I'm playing the
hands go
Switch
numb.
or if I'm when I use a controller, that doesn't happen because it's like here and it's closer together and it's like a natural, it's ergonomic. But when you're holding like even the PlayStation Portal, it's one of the more comfortable handheld devices.
Super lightweight.
But it's still when you're sitting there like this for a little while, it just doesn't feel right. Like it starts, and then you're
Playing
like
Oblivion
laying
on that
and
ain't the same as playing Oblivion on TV.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Again, it's like for me, the Portal's so useful, and portable gaming in general is so useful because I'm traveling a lot. I'm not at home all the time, so to be able to pull out the Portal and still feel like I have access to my $700 PlayStation Pro, the $199 was worth every penny.
And it's still running reliably for you. Like it doesn't really give you any problems.
beautiful. You know, as long as I have a good Wi-Fi connection where I'm at with the Portal, my fucking PlayStation's hardline to FiOS, so
Yeah.
it works.
I mean, I was so gung ho about that thing. Well, then I made you guys get that thing.
yeah, you had an extra. You're like, oh,
I bought an extra because I knew one of you guys was gonna want it because it was so cool, and I haven't used it.
if I
barely
was
used
at home, I mean,
Yeah.
I still pick it up, but if I'm laying in bed and I'm just feeling like,
Yeah.
I got it hanging from my bike over there.
if I'm laying down and I'm playing, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I could fucking just do some quick shit like laying like this, or I'll put a pillow down. I'll, do that. But
That can only last so long, though.
yeah, eventually I'm like, all right, I'm
Gravity
good.
works against you when you're laying on your back holding it like this. Eventually, you're like, all right,
Yeah,
sit
my
up.
hands will just go numb
Can't get
from
comfortable.
sitting. But no, if your life takes you out of your house and you can't use your OLED and you can't, that's where the Switch 2 or something like this, it's still niche, but it's popular. And like you said, it's cheaper than a gaming PC. So parents might look at it as an option so the kid's not occupying the fucking TV, so on and so forth if you have kids and they want to play
Tablet.
Yeah, get the tab.
That's another reason
don't do
why
that.
I don't feel any need to get a Switch because it's like a community gaming experience. Like, let's all get in the living room and play the Switch together. I don't have a
pretend that
little
happens.
family that I play with or little kids that I'm playing
don't
Mario
pretend
Kart
that
with. I don't have like a girlfriend that's making me play some fucking Nintendo game. Like there's no
Not overcooked.
there's no like there's
You
just
guys are
nothing there's nothing
fantastically
pulling
single
me.
as fuck.
Love it.
Yeah, I
is
mean,
the-
but there's really nothing pulling me to it. I mean, what am I gonna
Virgin
play? Yay,
Dungeon
Kingdom
basement.
Hearts! Yay, candy canes! Let me just shove a candy cane up my ass.
Right up there.
Rather do that than play
Pokemon,
Kingdom Hearts.
Pokemon's been stale as fuck, so I don't think that'll move units either.
Sid.
It looks like the same game that it always is,
They need to
and they
wrest
still
the
don't
control
have
away
fucking
from Game
people
Freak.
talking. They don't have like.
It's all Game Freak. Game Freak is fucking up Pokemon.
How are they like?
Any
How
other
many
studio would
corners
do it
are they
better.
allowed to cut on Nintendo? Because all Nintendo games seem to be, yeah, that's all that you get from Link or whatever the fuck
because
his
their
name. Yeah.
justification is they're encouraging kids
Reading?
to read. You fucking idiot.
Well, hey, yeah, that's great. That's a great
why-
justification,
that's why
but
they justify it anyway.
but it's fucking 2025.
Nintendo has a touch. They always have. If you play, when you're playing something Nintendo.
It's menus and watching somebody animate and then
Something-
reading through the cards and then the
It's-
guy's just clapping as you're
the
reading
Wii
what he's
fucking
it's
saying.
intentional because when you're a child, which that's
yeah.
what the whole
Well,
thing's
yeah,
for.
Yeah, exactly. It's for
Everything
kids.
needs to be very intentional. You ever watch Bluey or some shit? Everything's hyper like intentional. Like it's it's like exaggerated to a degree that you're like, what are you fucking stupid? It's because it's a kid.
It looks like
For a
fucking
6-year-old.
Kim Jong Un's fucking when he shows up in an arena and everybody got to start clapping. I saw that.
40-year-olds are gonna have to
Everybody
understand
acts
that
like
not
Wii
everything's
Sports
made for you.
audience members.
I
when he-
fucking do.
I love that meme. It's not my joke. I'm just saying, like, there's too many menus in their game. Same thing, Animal Crossing. You catch a fish. Woo! I caught the fish. that I caught it 1,000 fucking times. Let me read out what it is. Read the same bad joke and then fucking throw the fish back in the sea. Like
Animal Crossing, yeah.
It's like you always gotta make one thing at a time in these Switch games. It's always like
don't
I
show
can't
up to
just
the
make
owl with a
5
fucking
fucking
bug 'cause
eggs.
he's gonna
I
fucking
have to make one egg at a
4 extra
time.
menus.
Fucking really cook, do the whole animation. If you hit the button a couple times, the animation moves faster.
You know what Chris would hate?
the only
Monster
thing.
Hunter.
Fuck Monster. I already do hate Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but the cat's cooking, you would absolutely hate that part.
Well, isn't that like a really
show
in
the
detail
real video,
animation?
yeah,
It's like
it
a
looks like a
detail
steak
animation.
cooking.
No, I would be
Cat
okay with that. At
sizzling.
least because it's detail. I've
Yeah,
seen
but
that. Those look
it's
crazy.
every time. Every time.
Every
Yeah.
meal you cook.
Yeah.
And
At a
you
certain
hate-
point,
you
it's
hate
like let
overtly
me skip.
Japanese things, so.
Yeah. At a certain point, just let me skip the goddamn
That game is overtly
animation.
Japanese.
If I
It's a
caught,
Capcom game.
yeah. Well, exactly. That's why I'm not a big fan of the Monster Hunter series.
Monster
I like the Toby Kadashi, and I like his blades.
Yeah, I
Twin
could, this
Blades.
game I could leave.
Never drew me to it.
Everything's been very.
Joe,
player
Joe
driven.
said, "Hey, Kingdom Hearts was good. Like I said, I'd rather
you
shove
finished it?
candy cane. Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I was asking Joe if he finished it.
He was playing it right
he
now.
didn't.
He's been playing it.
Oh wow! I just pulled that out of my ass, and then
Kingdom Hearts?
yeah, I didn't realize Joe was playing it.
Joe
right
was
now.
playing Kingdom Hearts.
Just celebrated like the 25th anniversary.
Oh,
Kingdom Hearts, I think.
I couldn't get myself into it.
Selig is in the house. What's up, Selig? Been listening to that Game of Thrones book.
Yeah, what's the chat been saying about this shit?
Just a bunch of nonsense, really.
It's nonsense.
Nonsense, poopy.
Nothing
pants.
too crazy. So handheld gaming, in my estimation, not a great experience. I wish Nintendo would drop it. Come out with a cool fucking console. Get rid of the handheld sticks. Just let people use controllers again. Well, just I don't know. The
They're never gonna do
screens,
that.
putting that screen on it adds an
put a
unnecessary
controller, but
cost
I
when
know
they
what you're
can
saying.
bring it to another level with a better GPU and other shit that they can put money into instead of the
Everything should get
LCD
smaller and more
screen.
compact.
Again, the market isn't you.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
a self-contained
Yeah.
gaming console. It's literally
That's the only
everything you
point I'm
need
trying to
there.
make.
Speaker, screen, controller. That's what they asked for, and that's what you get. You're literally just like, blouse. So you could be like, here you go, son. Have fun for a couple hours.
Yeah,
while
and
you
then
turn
they'll
on
go
the
and
game.
complain about it and say, "Oh, he's always on the thing that they put in his hands."
Again, that's like that was definitely their intent to cross over Game Boy and N64 and
But then why,
Make it
whenever
one
I say
thing.
Nintendo is a system for children, do I get crucified on this show?
because we're never saying that it's not for children. We're just saying that the games are good enough to enjoy as an adult.
That's horseshit.
What are you talking about?
Zelda's
Horseshit.
fucking such
Horseshit.
a top
They're-
Talking out of your
There's
ass because you don't even fucking play them.
There's
back-to-back
subpar
10
games.
games. They're not subpar.
Did you
They,
hate Mario
they are not
Nothing
next gen
subpar.
games. I liked
Nothing
Mario Odyssey,
subpar.
but it's really not a
If
next
you
gen
played
game.
Tears of the Kingdom, just the build
That was
system
a launch title
alone,
for the Switch.
ability to build what you can build with the components that you can use.
Yeah, I seen that shit. People make some stupid shit. Oh, he made a giant fucking boat.
The
All
nicotine's
right.
rotting his brains.
It's just I don't know. You can't.
What other gaming?
Positions hardened.
Gaming,
No, so what the Xbox handheld, but that also brings up the fact that we're getting the Gears of War trilogy, which another thing Chris
And it's
just
fully cross-compatible.
this fucking guy can't say
Gears
You don't
of
like
War.
Gears of
words.
War?
I hate Gears of War.
Yeah.
Why do you like
I'm gonna
Gears
go
of
take a
War?
look.
First of all, I hate
This guy
the
can talk about it.
character.
I never played it.
The character
You never played
animation is
Gears of-
just
you
hideous.
love Gears of War.
No, he
I'm
wouldn't.
sure. I
He would.
guarantee you.
John
Rob would
DiMaggio
get very
plays the guy.
frustrated.
Just the
and
fact that like me or you, we could all jump into a co-op campaign.
Rob would
we
hate it.
love that
Rob,
shit.
you
Why
would
would I
hate it.
hate it?
I know games that you hate, and you would hate this game.
How do you
With
know?
the
You
fucking
would-
birds
He
and the
would not
fucking light,
play
it
the
would be done.
multiplayer. That would be out.
No, not
If
even
he
the
would
multi,
love
even the
the story.
campaign and the bats
shooting?
swarming him. He would hate it. Rob's not a shooter. He's not a.
What do you mean? I've been playing shooting games since long before I knew you.
You are known on the record that
shooter.
you're
I have
not
fucking.
a.
I
You're
have
not
the
a first
original
person.
Medal of Honor and the original.
third
Rainbow
person or
Six
first
on
person, I
PlayStation
forget.
1.
First-person shooters.
Rob's not a. You're not a first person.
Oh, but
shooter
Gears of War.
guy.
I'm sorry. It's
I wish you
third
were.
person.
Originally, I was,
Yeah, and
Gears is
then.
third person.
but I don't do.
It is right.
I don't do online. That's the only thing. I play all the campaigns in
I
these fucking
guarantee
games.
you would
and
love it.
shit.
Sorry, you're wrong.
No, he would hate it.
It's not the
I know,
division.
dude.
It's not like the division.
I'm not playing the
You
division.
know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
fucking
gonna
hate
fucking
that.
play.
It's not
Joe,
the
I'm not
division.
playing the fucking division, no matter what you say.
Ever again.
Gears of War is, sort of the prelude to what Horde, the popularity of Horde mode to me came from Gears of War.
Gears of War was a good commercial. They had the song "All Around Me Are
Fantastic.
Familiar
First-
Faces."
two
Everybody
were
fell
really
for
good.
it because of that song.
Sicko.
Wasn't that good.
Sicko.
I hate the way that the characters look. They all look like fucking weird,
Hey, Tootie.
weird shaped.
Nice Tootie.
Fuck that game.
Joe's in the house.
Oh, there's a chainsaw on the gun. Big whoop.
Wait, I got to see what Joe said. What did Joe say there?
Joe
Zero need for a
Clemente.
handheld unless I become a frequent flyer. Got an OLED and I barely play
Frequent
it. Yeah, I feel
flyer.
you, man. I'm with you. I see my Switch. Every once in a while I'll pick it up, but it's definitely not. I don't have the time.
I don't even have it plugged into my TV right now.
Yeah, I just don't have the time.
What's the show?
Ming Tootie, nice Tootie.
Played the
yeah.
beta.
Anyway, sorry, I
What
just saw
beta?
Joe jumped in, but
Played the
Gears
beta
of
for what,
War
Joe?
By far is a top. It's easy in like the top 100 of games, you know, and it could be in the top 50, especially the first two. Dom's a great character. They had a lot.
No, it's not a
they're
top
a lot
50.
of fun, dude.
Don't make me
Shotgun
name
just-
50 games that are better than Gears of War right now.
What 50 games better than Gears of War?
'Cause I'll start.
I could name 50 games at
my
all right now.
brain
I'd
is
be-
so
yeah,
rotted. I wouldn't be
yeah,
able to name
mush for
50
brains.
games.
I couldn't
But I
tell
could. I could name
couldn't
50
tell you the
games.
10 games I've just
I heard
played.
we're going to be getting a Gex collection.
That I don't care about, but that's
I
cool for some
love the
people
fucking
love
Gex 3, Enter the Gecko. Or was it Gex 2?
that. My
Gex
backlog's
2, Enter
getting
the
a
Gecko.
little, you know what I mean?
That shit was fucking great.
I'll bring up the next game in
They
a
would
little
do
bit, but-
parodies of everything. Oh, man, I love that game.
Gex. Yeah, I feel like I didn't play Gex. What else is? Oh,
He was
so yeah,
funny
with
as
Gears
fuck.
of War coming, that'll be again. That's going to be another interesting game. It's funny. I think the top 6 of the top 10 PlayStation Store games being sold are from Microsoft. Whether it's Oblivion, Forza, I forgot what else. Call of Duty, of course. You know what I mean, like
Indiana
Activision
Jones.
shit. But Indiana Jones.
Yeah, thanks, Bethesda, for another fucking glitch.
Yeah,
game.
this guy's getting fucked by Bethesda twice in a
Cocksucker
row. Twice in a row. But,
Stop selling me broken games.
you know, inevitably what we're going to see is we're going to get Halo. We haven't got the announcement, and it's not official yet, but
Why do everything
Halo
else
on
and not
PlayStation.
Halo?
Because that's a big announcement.
Master Chief.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they have to do it. They wouldn't do all these
got
other
it.
games, but not Halo. It doesn't make sense.
It's
at this
funny
point.
because, yeah, you're right. It is a big deal, and I think it would warrant cross-promotion in a way that would be very, like, unique because they did a really funny Indiana Jones cross-promotion with PlayStation, which was Nathan Drake meeting Troy Baker. So
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember Nathan Drake's name right now. They voice
Oh,
actor.
Nolan North.
Yeah, Nolan North is sitting with Troy Baker, and they're
Yep.
having a Indiana Jones moment. You know, it's
Yep.
it's a very funny commercial. And I thought, oh wow,
love
it's cool
Nolan
that
North.
they're doing
Oh.
like a little cross promotion.
raps.
That's a great way to push the game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Mazzara
Master
fucked up.
Chief deserves a splash when it comes to PlayStation. That's a big deal, I think.
Got
It's
to
like
meet Nolan
Mario
North.
coming to fucking Xbox or play. You know what I mean? Like
You'll
hey,
still have those
Mario.
curmudgeons like Joe that'll say they don't want to play with PlayStation people. He doesn't want to play with the controller, the purists.
It doesn't- Who cares? I mean, multiplayer wise,
He'll be
they've
playing.
shot themselves in the foot. You know, hopefully the next Halo comes out and it's cross-platform, because then it'll give it some hope that a new Halo.
I mean, Gears is
multiplayer
going to be
would matter.
cross-platform and cross-progress.
Yeah, yeah. There's all good indicators that
So,
the next Halo game that I guess, well, actually, the next Halo game we're getting is Halo Combat Evolved Remastered. That's under Unreal Engine 5.
Man, I fucking just do all of them. I don't want to play Halo 1 on PlayStation. I want to play fucking. I'm too used to being able to sprint and like all those things. Halo 1 is such an
They're
aged
doing
game.
a remaster, not just like the Halo Collection upres thing. They're doing an Unreal Engine 5 like Halo.
I just want to be able to sprint because that's one thing I hate when I go
Yeah, I
back and I
gotcha.
play Halo 1. You cannot sprint, and I lose my mind after a while. You got to jump to feel like you're moving.
It's a little moon physicky. Like his
Yeah.
jump in the first
Well,
one.
there's the
is-
lower gravity. You know, it's not like you move slow, but I hate not being able to
I
sprint.
enjoyed the first one.
I mean,
Yeah. I saw him
Chris
play the
never
rest
played
of
the
the
I
campaign.
started
He has
with-
no idea.
I
what the
started
fuck
with
you're
3.
talking
So,
about,
yeah,
so.
I really.
You didn't play the
Yeah,
campaign,
he
the
has
first
no idea
Halo?
who the elites are. The
I got an
grunts.
Xbox 360. I started with Halo
Yeah,
3,
never-
What, they call
and
it
I loved
Flood?
Halo 3. Was incredible. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
it was a I think the
Legendary.
second best Halo game from Halo Reach.
I need a weapon.
Sidewinder.
Halo Reach introduced
Well,
sprint.
What was the level with the what was the level that was like the missile launcher base or something, and it had the air portal, and people would stand up on the platform, and then there was the ramps coming up from the right side. Remember the level I'm talking about?
From
Countdown. It was
Oh, you're
fucking
talking about Countdown. Countdown
dude.
had the just say shoddy swords and it's
Well,
Countdown.
yeah. Shoddy swords.
I have like a
With the
world
lift.
record for that
Oh,
level,
dude.
man. I have so many perfections on that. Halo's what was really cool about Halo Reach was they had a website that told you all of your stats. And
Oh,
it
yeah,
would show you
yeah.
every awesome detail. Like you could look at maps and see where people die the most,
Yeah,
heat
you can
maps.
see the heat maps.
And you
yeah.
could see like where you kill,
This
like
is
you
a
could see
funnel
your own
point, don't
personal
go
heat
here.
map. And I would see like the same couple of spots that I would wait in and get people. But you could see every single stat, and I would compare myself to my friends and learn about how I didn't realize the way that I played. Most of my kills were fists,
Close range.
melee,
beatdown.
and then shotgun.
beatdown.
And I realized I'm a close quarters player, and I didn't even realize
yeah,
that until I looked at the stats and figured it out. Meanwhile, everyone else is doing like the AR or the BR. Oh, I'm a spider when I play Halo, dude. I wait my web. I used to in Halo, I would with my headset on, close my eyes. I swear to God, like a
I'm running to
ninja.
get killed immediately. Kind
I
of
would
guy.
close my eyes and listen to
just
the
never stop-
footsteps.
yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's-
the
I don't know what
the surround vision was so, or whatever you call it, the surround sound was
the
so
radar
good.
perfect.
The locational,
ping based.
yeah, and I would hear the footsteps coming, and I would fucking open my eyes and then stab him with the sword. And there's not any game that you could do that. Like Call of Duty, you try to listen for footsteps, and all of a sudden a guitar riff like starts playing over it, and like blast your eardrums out. Or like somebody just screeches on their mic, or they didn't change their fire alarm
They
batteries.
announced Call of Duty, whatever, Black Ops 7, and I couldn't give any less of a shit. Like, I really just do not give a fuck about.
There used to
That's
be a
an
multitude of
example of
games that you could play apart from Call of Duty. You had Ghost Recon, you had SOCOM, you had fucking help me out, Medal of Honor. You had all these other franchises, and now it's Call of Duty and Fortnite.
I'm actually to the point now where I want another World War II remake game.
I was gonna
like,
say
you know?
we need a new good.
Yeah,
It was-
it's been
it
a while
was-
since we had the
it was
World War.
spent, you know,
it
they
was
really-
a little spent.
They,
Yeah,
they
it was
beat the
very
shit out
spent.
of that one. That
They-
was from Call
they-
of Duty,
too much.
from Medal of Honor, all the way to even like
I would love an OG
Cold War
Medal
they
of
did,
Honor.
Cold
They
War
do
was
the Cold
similar.
War, but they always try to make it
Similar.
futuristic
I want
Cold
them
War.
to facelift
No,
the
the
OG
first
Medal
Cold-
of Honor. That
I
would
thought
be
the
cool.
first wasn't
That
the
would-
first Cold War the old school, like with you fucking. That was actually the only Call of Duty where you had dismemberment. Remember the mines would shoot out of the ground and they just man.
Which one you talking about? Recent?
Yeah, this is in the last 10 years. I'm pretty sure it was the first.
I can't
Cold
keep
War.
up with them. There's Modern
Anyway,
Warfare, Black
I want
Ops.
a
I
fucking
don't
World
know.
War II remake. Just throw me back in the boats.
I'm telling
Give
you,
me
if
the
they remade
Airborne.
the original Medal of Honor.
Yeah, that was a masterpiece. That was the first time where surround sound in gaming
That was the
mattered.
first time where you could throw like a
Oh, the
enemy
grenade
grenade back, and it was like, ah.
Yeah.
That was sweet. That was a lot of fun.
I mean,
man.
was it Frontline? The World War, the Pearl Harbor one was like insane. You ever play the Pearl
I don't think
Harbor
if I
one?
played that.
Oh
I
my
don't think I
God!
played
It
that
was
one.
like one of the most iconic games of all time at the time. They recreated Pearl Harbor. It was like you were in the middle of it all. You were Cuba Gooding Jr. on the fucking LMG, fucking Gatling gun or whatever.
Early Cuba, not the perverted one.
Oh
not
yeah,
the
something
Diddy
happened
one.
with him, right?
Diddy parties. Who knows? Yeah. No, I do wish they would redo or do an updated. I was watching Band of Brothers and I was like, we need a new World War II game where you
Yeah,
kill
we need to remember
Nazis.
how like Nazis
you kill
die, you know,
Nazis.
like,
You kill them
that's
on purpose. With
the only good
purpose.
Nazi is a dead Nazi.
So here's a good off the cuff question for you guys. What is your favorite era to game in? And by that I mean,
Oh,
you have games that take place in the Old West. You have games that take place in feudal
Futuristic.
Japan. You have games that take place in the future. You have games that take
I'm
place
gonna
in
say
medieval.
feudal Japan and the 1920s gangster are probably my
Mafia.
two top favorites, like Mafia.
So 1920s, yeah. I mean the Godfather games.
Yeah.
You have 80s games. You have Vice City and the Scarface game even. You have fucking 90s games like there's not a lot of 90s games. You have
Well,
San
GTA
Andreas.
3,
Yeah.
really.
GTA 3 was late 90s, early 2000s.
Max Payne always
That
gave
era?
me a 90s era vibe.
Max Payne?
Yeah.
Well, the first one or two, yeah. They had that noir aspect to them, which almost gave them like a, it could take place in
Grungy,
yeah.
early 90s or Gotham.
But yeah, the
I don't
feudal
know if I
Japan
have a-
games, I don't know. I find
Feudal Japan, you'd say?
I very much enjoy those games. Like when they come out.
Tranquility of feudal Japan.
They're beautiful.
Minus all
and
the
they're, like,
war.
sick to like fucking.
Yeah.
What about you,
There's a-
Vincenz?
I don't know, man. That's a
It's different, right? I
Favorite
feel like it's a
era.
pretty good question.
where do I like to be? Did really enjoy the Godfather game. I do like that, like
Mafia. those
the
big
slow.
games.
You know, it's low tech. versus
Before,
something
yeah,
like
yeah, the low
Cyberpunk
tech.
or-
Yeah.
Give me a
I like
good
the
Tommy
low
gun in a
tech.
video game. I'm happy.
It's a little, yeah, you know, a little more. Things are a little more analog. So
You have
it
that
just-
in
good
Red
feel.
Dead era, you know?
Red Dead
you have
2.
that in
I
the Old
love
West?
yeah, those are just the two though. That stands alone almost.
So you're
Old
saying
West.
the 20s and the Old West?
Yeah, I'd go with that. I don't know if I like. The
And I do
futuristic
enjoy the
all
Old
time.
West too. Don't get me wrong, because I've been playing those games since the original Nintendo. I got fucking Gunsmoke on the.
That's
Rob
actually-
can never
admittedly,
pick
what
one,
I
My
though.
dad's a fucking
I did
cowboy.
want. I wanted the new
So you
Grand Theft
changed
Auto. To
I'm not
be,
changing my vote. I'm just saying that that's like an honorable third.
Yeah.
I would say. Is
It's
the
so
Old West.
fun. Futuristic would be my third. I do like being.
When I
able
played
to
them all, I
hack and
played
the fucking
Gun. I played
crazy, like,
fucking
Cyberpunk. Such
Road
a
to
cool,
Juarez. you name
use
it.
of tech. But no, it's funny because I did want GTA. I wanted the new GTA to be actually a timepiece. I wasn't sure if I wanted a modern era game, just because of how like,
Yeah, I think you're on the
oversaturated with-
record of saying that you thought that it would be a timepiece. You thought that
Allegedly,
they
that was
would
like
not
one of-
be able to do a game in this era.
They
And I
themselves
said no.
said themselves, Dan Houser, who no longer works with the company, said, "I'm really happy we're not doing a Grand Theft Auto in this presidential era because it's almost a spoof of itself. It's hard to spoof a spoof. It's like where's the edge?"
The makers
Grand
of
Theft
South
Auto-
Park even said that. When
Yeah.
when the greatest satirists of our time are like
This is
are
tough.
drained, that's how you know.
So I was
scary.
almost again allegedly that game was going to be more about like I don't know, I guess scale than incredible detail. Anyway, they were going to do an Americas.
little
It was going to be
peaceful.
like a South America, Cuba, and Miami kind of thing, and wanted to be able to go between the countries. So it would have been like a large.
Which they
game.
might still have. I mean,
I'm
well,
sure
I know.
going down the road, they have a lot of ideas for scale because
Yeah,
that's.
they should definitely do a Cuba type of thing. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. You know,
Definitely.
but
I just
there's a
thought it
lot of
would've
missed
been nice.
opportunities with
Bring
five.
back the pay phones, get rid of the cell phones. Maybe there's like a sat phone or something really special, but not like this. I don't know how much I care about the social media aspect. Like, oh, hey, look, they have social media in the game like we do, and look how annoying and fucking perverted it
I
is.
think that
they'll do a great
they have
job.
the
I'm not
opportunity to
hating.
You know
make
what's
it
gonna be
where
funny
people
when
can.
somebody's gonna pull out a phone. Yo, chat, check out what's happening.
Oh, right, you're gonna be
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then that's
definitely,
you end
definitely.
up seeing yourself later on
on like the
their
news or something. That
Snapgram.
shit would be funny. If,
Like,
like,
I
you turn on
have
the TV, see
zero
disruptive
doubts of
shit.
what they're doing. I saw a funny thing. It was a alleged leak that like they're struggling with the story. Like, oh, they're in hell trying to figure out the story. They don't have the story finished. I'm like,
Well, that means that they care.
you guys, like no matter what, Red Dead, everything. It's down to the
Their
wire.
stories are
'Cause
always.
they're always considering like little.
The GTA 5 story, I feel like, was not gripping. I
No,
didn't.
definitely not.
I mean, it was
agree.
good and
It's
I
a
enjoyed
midlife
it.
crisis in a video game.
Yeah, I never replayed GTA 5 story. I've
actually-
never needed to. I want to answer the question though. My
Oh,
own
sorry. Go ahead,
question.
go ahead.
My favorite era. It's like I want to say 80s, but then I think of how many games have that 80s vibe to
I was
them.
thinking of Vice City. That's
Vice City, but you also have like the RoboCop games.
Gotcha.
You also have like I really like when they did that one Far Cry. Like Far Cry started doing some weird shit where they had like that. What was it, like the laser dragon or the fire dragon or something? You know what I'm talking about? It was like an 80s movie parody.
Oh, that's right. It was like Rambo.
It was awesome. It was like
Yeah.
Rambo and like in space and stuff, but it had like that 80s synth kind of vibe. I've always
like a Duke Nukem Doom.
yeah.
It was, I remember that was actually really cool. You're right.
So I dig that era, but it is tough to find a lot of games that take place in that time frame. So I'm going with the Old West.
The Old
Love that
West.
shit. Old West are like a good medieval
Easy,
game.
boy. Well, all right.
I was gonna say you enjoy the medieval games. too.
I really wish we can get like a good
Since you're the one that
medieval
likes
game.
Joust and fucking Elder Scrolls is kind of medievally. And
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna make that my answer. Medieval games, I'd say.
World of
Medieval
Warcraft was a big
times.
one for me. back in the
I
day.
enjoy like that. There's just like a cozy feeling
That's
you
the fun
get.
thing about video games. Like, think about all the worlds that we've been transported into. Like playing, all the games.
Otherwise, we're
it's
just
like-
sitting in a fucking
When I
room.
can lock into a game, it's so fun.
I probably
Yeah.
learned more about
Such a
history
cool-
through games than I have through classrooms.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
it's,
Indiana
it's
Jones
a warped
personally taught me
perspective
more.
of
depends how they
history.
tell the story. It's
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed takes a lot of liberties with.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Like
with
like
histories.
for what I was saying, like the feudal Japan. I knew nothing about feudal Japan. Now I'm starting to learn about the eras, what the differences are. And,
it sparks interest, and it
you know,
creates
because
that.
like when I was like
idea
watching
to-
Shogun and stuff like that, it's like
Reading it in a book is not going to spark
Interesting.
your imagination. Most kids.
Oh, it
anyway.
could. It
Most,
could,
Most
but-
people.
Well,
they're not-
maybe ADHD. I'm a visual
as
learner. If you
as
show
an
me the
adult,
thing, I'm gonna
sure.
understand.
When I was a kid, it was like read this to get it done. I wasn't
yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
like let me read this to be inspired and think.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I have to read this? Who cares? Japan, where's that? Like, what the fuck do I care? Anyway,
But there's something about like
video
those
games are
those that
Portal.
medieval era and like those when you go into a tavern and you hear like the fucking
A
lute
wench.
or like the flute playing.
Oh yeah,
And,
I know
like,
you
it
don't
just
like
feels
WoW,
cozy.
but like honestly,
No, I could.
their
appreciate it.
soundtrack when you go into an inn
Yeah.
is probably one of my favorite tracks in a video game.
It makes you
It's
feel good.
and you just feel like a warm feeling, like you just walked into a tavern. You can almost feel the fire from the
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
fireplace, and
exactly.
hear
The hearth,
you know the ale and the merriment.
the horns of ale, and the exactly the
Yeah,
merriment
it's
and the
like-
sounds of people in the
Like that
background.
game series in particular was always excellent. Well, don't hurt yourself.
Thought I heard his spine fucking back
Jesus.
crack when he.
No, it was the beer.
Yeah, there's
Like
something about
you
that.
feel something, like it invokes like emotion when you go to a zone, and it's like, you go to Ice Crown and it sounds devoid because you go from like a lush place and then you go to this ice place and it's like you feel the shift.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
in the
you like
soundtrack,
hear the
and that's
wind
like-
blowing and the.
Like that's part of the reason that I got so hooked. It's like exploring around Elwyn Forest and like that soundtrack. It was just like to this day when I hear that music, it takes me back to those initial experiences in the game. And
you hear the same
can't-
song over and over
you
again,
can't-
so
you
it gets
can't-
stained
you
in your
can't-
memory.
It's just as much a part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
soundtracks.
Yeah.
Just like with movies. I mean, Star Wars wouldn't be what Star Wars is without John.
It
Williams.
evokes feelings out of you that, like, if the music wasn't there, you would, you wouldn't be crying. But like the
Yeah.
music will rush up and it gets you all emotional. I mean, that's how I feel about Oblivion. Because there's really only like 20 songs that replay
It
constantly.
did have some good music though. I
The
will say
music
that.
in Oblivion is so like I used
I
to
would just
space
pause
it.
the game and just listen.
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah, it's like it's cozy,
Like
but
I
it
was
doesn't
cleaning
put you
my
to
room,
sleep.
I'm like, I'm just gonna have the fucking Oblivion music.
Yeah, dude, I have the Oblivion soundtrack in my music library.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
Skyrim had pretty good soundtrack too.
Well, that's what's so cool about the Skyrim soundtrack is a lot of those songs are variations of Oblivion songs.
I will say though that I enjoyed Skyrim more than Oblivion.
You didn't play as much Oblivion.
But I'm just saying that like I like the Nords. I like the whole
Like the Nordic theme of it. Well, I mean that's what's cool about Cyrodiil is it's a mixing bowl really. It's
Yeah,
a
no, I
pot or
played
whatever.
as a Nord in Oblivion.
Yeah, because like they have the Nord experience in Bruma, and then they have like the Redguard experience in Anvil, and then you have like the Argonian experience because it's the middle of the whole empire. So all these edges of the empire are touching a different place. Up north is touching Skyrim, so that's influenced by them, and then every area has its influence, and also Cyrodiil, there was a race of the
I don't know you and I don't
I
want
don't
to
know you and I don't want to know you. I don't know you and I don't want to know you.
Just walks up
I
to
don't want to
every
be your
individual
friend.
person.
I don't like you and I don't gonna wanna like you. And I don't want to be your friend.
I don't want to be your friend. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
there's a lot of different but I mean there's a lot more dwarven shit in Skyrim, which was cool.
Yeah, the Dwemer and all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, those
Even
games
though it took place after, which is ironic. Skyrim takes place after.
couple of 100 years after.
I'm just saying, the Dwemer
Yeah.
have been gone for so long. That it's like,
The Dwemer are gone like I don't even know how
are
many.
they before
hundred
Morrowind too?
I believe so. Yeah. They're gone. They're gone for a while. I don't know exactly. I talked to Chat. ChatGPT is great to help clarify like stories and timelines and stuff. Because I asked it, I was like, "Wait, who is this guy? I thought the Cyrodiil, and who was Talos?" And that's exactly it. ESO takes place like 1,000 years before, so before Talos and everything. And I
I
don't
need
know.
George R. Martin to like upload an AI version of himself so that I can ask him questions about Game of Thrones.
I mean,
Like what happened to Old Nan? Did she actually die in the sacking of
I think he hates.
King's Landing?
He's suing AI, like an AI company, because somebody made a Game of Thrones sequel since he is taking
he
forever
won't.
to do it, and he took great offense to that, and actually was I don't know what the status of that lawsuit is, but I remember seeing George R. R. Martin is suing. He hates AI. Meanwhile, I'm like, I like AI. I love George R. R. Martin, but I do think in the creative
AI
realm it is a little scary.
What sucks is that we live in a day and age where the machines are doing the art and we're still working.
Yeah.
I think people expect
But it's
the
gonna take the
future to be
jobs, too.
different. You know, it's like
Yeah, don't worry. It'll come
It's
for
gonna take the jobs too.
parts.
It's both aspects. It's taking over-
lazy.
we're making
fucking-
ourselves obsolete.
It's lazier than
Yeah.
even I would do it.
We're just gonna make.
Well, so
ourselves
you know my
obsolete.
Minecraft shit and how that takes forever, and I got a comment from somebody on my one Minecraft video that blew up, and they were like, "You have too much time on your hands," and the only reason I read into it and I took offense to it, I saw this motherfucker had an AI, like it was a clearly AI generated image. So I look at the
Rage
page, the whole page. No, it's not rage bait. This person's whole thing was they were an AI artist
Oh, yeah.
that puts in prompts to generate
oxymoron
AI
if I've
and
ever heard
stories,
one.
and it had all these characters. So I replied to this little motherfucker. I was like, yeah, well, when you want to actually create art, which I look at my Minecraft shit as art. I'm an artist. I'm an artist.
You know what?
It takes time. You sacrifice going outside, like you're sitting there, whether you're a painter or you're fucking making something in Minecraft or whatever the fuck, or a sculptor, you're sitting there taking time to make something.
Right.
And I said, this shit actually takes time, you little motherfucker, unlike your AI art. And they were like, they were like a furry. It was like a furry.
Oh no! It's always
I
done.
just blocked them.
Who else?
Who else?
Who else? Damn it.
Fucking furries.
Yeah, the combination of like AI, robotics, quantum computing, those are like the things that will define the next like 10 years.
It's gonna increase graphics. They're running the graphics through AI so that it's
Absolutely.
fucking
NVIDIA chips are
upscaling it.
using frame generation and upscaling to take 720p and turn it into 4K, and it allows them to not have to invest in much in the hardware, because the hardware, if you ever look at how dense a chip is, it's harder to get even smaller than that right now. That's where quantum computing comes in, but
I need money.
I need more money. Yeah.
What other gaming news did we get?
I don't know
We
what
have
else
on
has
our
been
list
going
there.
on.
Metal
There was,
Gear. Metal Gear is coming
Metal
out
Gear.
in August. Metal Gear Delta,
Yeah, I can't wait.
remaster of Snake Eater, which is, and some would say, one of the best Metal Gears that there are.
That's what
If you've never played
people
any
have
of the
said.
Metal
They're
Gears,
like,
which
why did they start
Rob
with the
recently
best
did.
one?
Well, this is actually one of the best ones to start with because it takes place before everything. It's the guy, and I said this on the show 1,000 times, so I won't go on, but it's the guy that everybody's cloned from.
Big
So it's the
balls.
original Snake.
Not
And it's such a phenomenal game. And one of the things that they announced with that, though, is that there's going to be a new Metal Gear Online.
Fuck yeah.
And it could either be a total flop. I feel like it won't get the player count that it deserves. But I will say that for the people that did play the original Metal Gear Online, which came out years ago, I think on PlayStation 3, I don't even know what it was on. It was awesome.
What
and
was
I
it
used
like?
to
I'm picturing like Splinter Cell online.
kind of, and like you could actually hold people up like you can in Metal Gear, and you can grab them by the throat. You had like a syringe, and I forget what you like were able to inject in them. It was like a chip, or like it would put them to sleep, because you could put people to sleep instead of killing them for whatever reason. I think there was an incentive to that. But I would just stab them in the neck with the syringe repetitively and like keep them trapped. The other thing I would do in Metal Gear Online was the first game I ever did this is I would camouflage myself. I would wear like this olive green full outfit, mask and everything, and I would lay in the grass. And nobody else was doing this, and they would walk right over me. And if anybody's ever played Warzone with me, now I do the ghillie suit and I hide in the bush, and it's a lot of fun. But
Uncanny.
it all started in Metal Gear Online. There was a lot of cool, innovative things you could do. You could like capture people on the balloon thing and send them back
Oh, that
in the
shit,
balloon
yeah,
instead of
yeah.
killing them. There was some really fun like games on there, and then it kind of just died.
Petered out.
They turned off the servers.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a new Metal Gear Online. If I took some extra time to prepare, I'd play the video. But they have it now. It looks pretty cool. I recommend to everybody that likes video games, look at the Metal Gear Online trailer. It looks pretty fucking cool.
I've been
Waiting for this. And I have been waiting for this, actually. Brother! It's been a long time, brother. Fox Hunt. Yeah, Metal Gear Fox Hunt. And what's really cool about it is, like, they show the guy, like, dive onto, like, some rocks. And then it, like, as you go prone, it, like, deploys this camo thing that blended him in and, like, put, like, a rocky camouflage over him. And blends him in. And then, then he walks up to, like, a brick wall with vines, like, running all over it. And he leans against it, and then like the camouflage comes out, and then like it blends him into the brush.
Oh, that's cool.
So stealth is going to be a very big aspect of it.
I saw there's like multiple camo. You know, you got to cycle through your camos, use the right camo in the right environment. I can't wait to play that.
That's how
so
Metal.
Much fun.
They introduced that in Snake Eater actually, where when you're in the grass,
Probably gonna have
you
to
put
wear
on.
thermal goggles and shit to find people.
Well, it helps fighting the end.
Some
played
days
Snake Eater, right?
you'll
Yeah.
dine on a tree,
Tree
frog.
That last battle was fucking tough.
I didn't.
Flower
I
Field?
held off. I didn't play it.
Oh, against Boss. Yeah,
Boss.
the boss.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm gonna be deep into Kojima because we got Death Stranding 2 coming out at the end of this month.
Oh, you
Oh,
gonna
really?
screw it right
I
away?
fucking hate.
Oh, you
Death
would hate
Stranding.
it.
There's
You
a
would hate
game that I would never tell this fuck to play, and it's Death Stranding. You would
Yeah, I
fucking.
thought I would like it. It's a Kojima game.
Oh, you would hate it so fucking.
Well, you can't
much.
kill.
I was
you
this
can
close
kill
to
people.
killing
So
on it.
Japanese. It's so Kojima.
Kojima's my
it's so
exception
okay.
to that type.
It's not military. It's not. You know, it's cool, and I'll say, because you don't actually want to kill your opponents in the game, you want to like stun or
Tranquilize.
entrap or tranquilize them. Maybe you'd find some fun in that, but otherwise you would hate this fucking really great game. Such a when I think about like game immersion, you know, like
You gotta earn it.
it's really Kojima's the master of manipulating and using the video game platform to tell a story with all of the ways a video game can do it outside of just the cinematics. Of course, it's cinematic heavy, and he's laying on the lore thick in this game. It's like got the shit that's going on in the game. It's basically like an Armageddon is happening, and it's leading to this crazy like interdimensional crossover event where these like, let's say the dead or
Parasites or something. I thought it was like
it's
a
not
black
quite
goo or
parasitic.
something.
It is an ink. It is like a black. It's visualized in this black fucking goo. But I couldn't even explain. It would be very difficult to try to like explain
to
it in a
ChatGPT about
coherent
it.
way. Check it out. They have
Hey,
this.
Rosie the
this-
robot.
yeah, so
Mr. J.
I feel like the game was misrepresented when it came out because everybody's like, it's a walking simulator. Like, yeah, you do have to transport stuff between these bases because you're trying to reestablish like a community across the nation. Anyway, Kojima's just the master. He's the best at like
He's also a
making
freak,
that
though.
yes, and
He's
he's,
a
like the
freak.
master of making that
He's a
character
sexual
on
deviant.
the screen.
He is a bit of a sexual deviant. If you've
Probably.
played the Metal
You
Gear
ever seen
games, he's always
Japanese
like
guys,
zooming
bro?
into the fucking skin tight, gleaming,
Bro,
glistening
the fucking side quest
ass.
with the guy with the wife. Did you read the mail?
No, I
Oh
really.
my god, it's so funny. It's
he,
hysterical.
he goes into
Like if you you don't have to because you finished the game. If you just
I'm
go
sure
into
it's in
your
my mail.
messages, you got to read the mail, and it's just it's so funny.
Yeah,
'Cause
badass
you bring them
game,
back
though. Really
together,
cool.
and then it's like just the messages are funny.
You know what's cool about the game? It's the most unique game out there because there's no other game you could say, oh, it's like this, or you're like, oh, it's like this and that together is nothing. I can't think of one fucking game where I'd be like, oh, it's kind of like this. You're gonna play it.
Kind of
you're
like
gonna be
Metal Gear in some ways, right?
No, but I heard with 2 that's coming out at the end of the month, they improved the combat system. It's more combat heavy, even more so than the first one. The first one's a little bit more like, I found it to be more like evade, like try to evade these.
Especially in the
There's
beginning,
raiders.
you're
There's
pretty
these
much
raiders
powerless.
across the land that you have to avoid when you have like valuable shit. They always try to like get you.
Yeah.
So you have a
Or even
bowler
the
weapon, all these
fucking muck
different.
monsters. You know when you're like
Oh,
when it
the
starts
BTs
raining
are
and
fucked
shit,
up, dude. Yeah, it's creepy. You got to creep around, hold your breath, fucking.
and that shit starts spinning. And it's like, oh shit, it's right in front of me.
You can go prone in that, right?
You can't lay down.
No.
Can't lay down.
No, there's no
That's
way.
another demand I have for next gen gaming. And I mention this
Prone?
because they said that, and apparently, and who knows what's true or
Oh,
not.
those leaks.
But in GTA, the leaks are saying that they originally were trying to do prone, and now they're not going to do prone. You should be able to go prone in any next gen game.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
a small request, and I feel like I'm not wrong.
if I can move while crouched, I'm usually satisfied. Prone is another level of stealth that, yeah, I demand of like Metal Gear or Splinter Cell.
Stealth coverage, you know, just being able to imagine GTA.
isn't, like, I don't know.
I thought about it, yeah, because I saw that same news. Like, oh, they tried it. I'm like, I don't know if I need that level of stealth in
I want to be able to lay down in
GTA. I don't
GTA
know why.
in a puddle and then jump
I'm
up and kill somebody.
crawling.
You know, like I want it. It just
Chris
adds.
wants new and creative ways to
Yeah,
move.
like roll under a
Yes,
car.
that's what
Like
he's
I,
thinking,
you know,
huh?
like if you can go prone in Call of Duty and crawl around, like it just adds another angle
was
to shoot
thinking of
people.
Red Dead.
You know,
Because in Red Dead you can't go prone, but you can dive and shoot from the ground, and that would be enough for me to
Like
be
you could hide
happy.
in like fucking sewer.
Like,
tunnels.
if
you
I
could
can't
like
do that in GTA.
hurdle or whatever you're saying. When you're like holding a gun, you can kind of
when
hurdle
you
jump.
jump to the side.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
do like
yeah.
you'll do a Max Payne without the slow mo. Basically, it'll be a very poor Max Payne jump.
Right.
So you could get a couple of shots off and then lay there and like shoot from that position.
They did have that in Max Payne. You're right. That
And
wasn't
Red Dead
Max.
too, right? You could shoot from the ground.
Red Dead, you get up. You just dive onto the ground and then you
Oh,
get
then
up.
He gets up
But
right
you
away.
are right. In Max Payne 2, you
could shoot
You
from the
can
ground.
actually lay on the ground. You couldn't crawl on the ground, but you would get up. And
That would
after.
be fine for me in GTA if I could do the dive and shoot.
Let me lay down so
cool
that
with
I
that.
can, lay down in a bush and then pop out and then, pop somebody.
I want more. Well, this would lead to a whole conversation about that. We'll talk about that later. GTA will just constantly be dominant in my brain.
GTA, we're gonna have
The
plenty
thing,
of
all
time.
right. So really quick, the thing I was thinking about with the stealth is something I feel like they're highlighting but not showing us yet, like in game or in trailer, is in every part of the trailer and the screenshots there are bottles and cans and cups. There's like objects, and going back to what you always said about GTA 4 being able to like throw objects was such a big missing piece of 5. And there's one specific screenshot where Jason's sitting at a bar. He's like looking ahead or looking kind of out of the side of his eye. His friend is like tapping him on the shoulder, and there's these two guys who look like they're gonna just walk up on Jason and beat the shit out of him. So it's just this one frame, it's one of the stills,
If you grab
and there's
the
a
cup.
bottle right there.
Yeah.
And all I can see in my head is, and I would hope it's like in the game, this happens to you. You're hanging out, you're talking to your buddy, and these two assholes want to come fuck with you because obviously you're some kind of muscle for the guy in the game.
Right.
That you just can't leave.
And I just want him to, one of those like cinematic to player moments where he just sitting at the bar, they're coming up on you, and you're like, oh, we got a brawl.
Got the
And he
glass,
just picks
crack
up the
him in the
bottle,
head.
turns and
get the other
smashes
guy.
it on his fucking head, and then knocks the other guy out. I'm praying that's the introduction to being able to take bottles and use them for stealth
Yeah.
and have people
Rocks.
go, huh?
I want to
And
be able to
fucking
throw
move.
rocks at people.
Yeah. Pray.
What does that say about me? I don't know, but I want to be able to pick up a rock or a brick and throw it at
It
somebody.
just seems so intentional because in the trailer,
Next
you're seeing
gen.
the beer swish around in the bottle. They're showing the 6-pack. He's his buddy's like spraying the beer. It just seems like those objects are. It's like how Rockstar is. It's what they're not saying. It's like what they're showing you, but they're not explicitly
I wish you
telling
could like
you.
escape into like the sewers and shit. But since it's like Florida, there'd be
is
like
this-
gators in the sewer and shit.
might
But you
be-
can use it as
might
like
be
a
able
way to escape from cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be like a
There's
cool.
one
but then
thing I can
you
trust.
can even make it like next gen, where like if you go down there, now you fucking stink because you were in the sewer. So like you have to like, kind of
Like,
go back
change
to
your
your apartment
clothes.
to change your clothes, or like
I read something that clothes actually tarnish, they rip, they're from stab and gunshot, and they stain with blood and carries over with.
You have to change your clothes now.
Yes, exactly, because you look
evidence.
conspicuous as fuck.
It's evidence in a crime.
Clothing is independent now. It's not like a stuck object. It actually is a fabric. So
how about maybe this
layers
in terms
onto
of
them.
camouflage and that type of stuff? If you could roll around in the mud, and then you get all
That's apparently.
you get all I'm trying to the
fucking
GTA
Arnold
ballet.
Schwarzenegger.
Just another day in the mud, you know. But you roll around in the mud and then like you blend in.
Do it!
Imagine
You
that.
one ugly motherfucker.
No, you're right. I heard.
And then you blend in.
They made a.
I mean, the mud physics in Red Dead were pretty
clear.
great. When you're fighting somebody in the muck and the
It's gonna
mud
be even
out,
funnier
you know,
to
in
set people on
strawberry.
fire 'cause
Yeah,
their
you're-
clothes are gonna get fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can see they're doing they're going mudding in the game.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
First trailer, there's that that
Mud
chick.
wrestling.
Definitely mud wrestling.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
It's absolutely gonna be mud
There's a
wrestling.
skank all over that trailer and screenshots. There's just like hookers and strippers everywhere. I don't know if anyone's actually looked, but there's like even in the subtle shots, it'll just be like of one of the hotels.
Like
and then if
background
you
scenery.
look really in the bottom corner, there's a girl leaning on a car talking to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's at the motel. It makes a whole lot of, it
Oh,
all
yeah,
fits. There's someone sitting poolside in the background, just like chilling by the pool. I was like, it's beyond. We're I don't care what they say. Oh, the story, the whole game, doesn't matter. That's like,
That girl's
you're
cheeks
playing
are worth it
GTA,
alone.
I don't know what, 40% for the story, but the other 60 or 70% of the
action.
game is
Yeah.
what Joe said. Me and Joe were talking about. It's the story you tell in the game. It's the things
Right.
that happen to you uniquely in those moments that you feel like may not be happening to everybody else because they're not scripted to happen in a sequence. You might come across something or the way a cop car fucking barrel rolls and explodes over
The
you and the
barrel.
chase, like just a billion
It's
different
things
ways.
that nobody would ever believe it if you didn't have the ability
The
to
caption.
record it, and you tell people, and like it doesn't.
So to
you
me,
know,
as
makes
much as the
sense.
game, they might be struggling with the story or whatever. You know the systems and the physics and the detail and the animals and the weather. Like it seems like the liquid and the weather and water play such a big role in this because it's Florida and there's always a hurricane. There's always a storm. So to see all those, those details. If they come out and say, "Oh, what they said, you can't go prone." They're trying to just. Now we're on the other end of the
think there's gonna
curve.
be like
What
we're in the
can't you do?
negativity curve.
Yeah, yeah. What can't you do in
You think
this?
there's gonna be like insurance claims for businesses now, like they do with the car?
No, because again, this
because of
game.
destructible environments and shit.
That would be pretty cool. I would,
Right?
I did see something that I
Wish
put
it was
I
base
put together a really
building.
cool video. I will put this out, but one of the leaks was partially destructible environments. Windows in buildings, gas stations would deteriorate or be blown up about like 60 to 70%. You couldn't like blow the building down but it would be like the framework would start to show and over time it would have to be repaired. It was like, I was like, that would be cool because honestly, when a gas station blows up and it doesn't look like anything happened after the explosion, as cool as the explosion is, that lasting impact, like putting your thumbprint on the world, is what would make the game feel even more immersive than it's ever felt.
and then when they rebuild it, it'll feel that much better to blow it up again. Like, oh, it's back. I can use it again.
Ready?
What do I do with it this time?
Let's watch them just rebuild it. You just sit there for like a week in game time.
It's gonna
But
look
yeah,
like Detroit the first week.
the amount of faith I have in them being able to build all of these systems and make that game feel the way we expect it to, I have no doubt.
I mean, there's stuff in Red Dead that you could look at, like when you watch somebody eating like a bowl of stew,
right?
like you'll see the guy like take it or like a plate of steak and it'll cut, and they figure out a way to like turn it into like a boomerang or like a GIF. I don't know how to explain it, but to make it like repeat in a way that's like seamless.
Right.
At a
right.
certain
It
point,
loops to a
it
certain
loops
way,
in a way.
but it doesn't look wrong. It
It-
never like breaks the immersion.
Yeah, like the level of detail. Just you could look it up.
Short
Somebody
of them
eating a
taking
steak on
a
Red
piece
Dead,
of steak, forking it, and putting it in their mouth.
which they do.
oh yeah,
They like the
You see
level
the
of
meat?
detail, and like they'll show it
Shit.
like cut into little pieces, and they'll take the one piece.
10,000 things I never saw in Red Dead 2.
There's a lot of stuff like that. Like when they're building like a
Thousands.
lumber thing, like the animation of them
That-
cutting the wood and then stacking it on the thing, and they add it to a stack.
That was one of the reasons that they were giving like backing to that leak or that conversation. Somebody alleged. All right, so this is where this comes from. Somebody was in the building at Rockstar North, and they were a contractor in the building, and one of the testers and one of the guys who, helping with actually testing out each of the new features did a flat-out demo for them. Did like 6 things with the game, showed him, and they just anonymously kind of put it out there on Reddit, like, yeah, believe this or don't believe it, I don't care, but here's what I saw, and it was fucking incredible. It was the leap from GTA 5 to Red Dead. It was even bigger than that in terms of how good and how deep the world felt. He was like, it's just a whole next level jump in how alive the world feels. And I was like, oh, you got my attention. So I read through everything, and it was like the building destruction. It's like, well, not, and the road destruction. That was what they talked about. The roads can get a little destroyed. So like a pothole would form after an explosion, and a road crew would actually come fix it, in that way that, just like you're saying, you're watching somebody build the building in Red Dead, and over time, as the story progresses, it does actually finish.
Which GTA 5, the testament to that never happening is that goddamn tower that's still under construction after
sort of an answer
10
to
years.
that, almost a little sly.
We all thought maybe one day they would finally fix that tower up. I'm surprised. Maybe like on the last day of GTA Online, they'll turn it into a
Nakatomi Plaza.
yeah.
Even though that actually happens at the
They
bank.
do. Yeah, they have another location for that.
Yeah, the hype will not die. I don't care what they say about this game. It sucks.
Oh, it'll
It's
be
fucking
crazy. I
nice.
mean, hey, I'll live without prone. I'm just saying. I feel like there's certain things I would love to see in this era of games that have existed in old games that
Certain ones.
were taken
Metal
away.
Gear, I feel like, was the first game ever where you could go prone.
Metal Gear was one. I
It's
think
like,
one of the
wait,
first
you lay
games
on the
ever that you
ground
could
and
go
crawl?
prone. Yeah, and it added
They
a
had the
whole nother
tutorial in
layer.
the first second of the game
Yeah.
just to show you could do it. It's
You
like
go through the
first thing.
vents, and then you collect rare stuff that you wouldn't normally find. You could hide. Like I like that. I want the ability, like stuff that's in Metal Gear, like hide in a locker, like hide inside of something. Like when you're running from the cops in GTA, and like I don't know if you can run into a car, I guess, but just be able to like run and hide under something and or pick something up with your hands. Like they had in GTA 4 and took out of GTA 5. But something that Rockstar always does kind of do to keep things fresh is they'll actually take away things that they have in games and then bring them back. GTA 4 didn't really have any vehicle customization like whatsoever. You can get a car. I think you can go to Pay and Spray, and that was it. You could not beef up a car in GTA 4.
Correct me if I'm wrong. GTA 4 was a 360 game, right?
Yes.
So it was 4 and 5 were both for 360.
Yes.
All right.
GTA
Yeah, I
4
just
was
think
very
5
early in the cycle, and then GTA 5 was at the end of the cycle, and then they upgraded to the next
4 benefited from the lack of scale. They went for like dense,
They went for depth.
detailed city.
You can go in a lot of buildings in 4.
And then in 5, I think they tried to go for scale, but it failed them because the system was so limited at the time. That's why like the wildlife was so sparse up north, and it's a lot of nothing. It's 2 big mountains that occupy a ton of space up there where there
Right.
could have been way more like
Nobody wants to
forests and
mountain bike or run a
details and-
triathlon in GTA 5. You
Yeah,
do it once
some-
or twice, you never do it again.
Sometimes I think that I just like, this game was so held back at the time by the fact that it came out for 360.
Shit.
Hated him.
It would have been better if it was a PS4.
But 6, it's going to feel like wilderness. It's going to feel
well,
like
yeah,
the
Red Dead speaks to-
backwater wilderness, like there's something out
You're in
there.
the fucking
Banjos.
gators. You
Yeah,
want to be in that
gators
shallow
out there
water at night.
growling, like,
100%.
The bayou, tell you.
Down
It's
the
gonna
bayou,
it's gonna
talking-
be scary to go out into the woods. Like you're gonna like want to stay away.
You're gonna see like glowing eyes out in the fucking
Yeah.
bayou.
Yeah.
Oh, that with
Though
that,
I don't think that they're gonna go.
RTGI.
I don't think they're gonna go full blown like as far as Red Dead goes, where you could like hunt and like skin. I don't know. They'll probably maybe have some hunting. I feel like they should.
I really hope there is some sort of compendium in a way.
You know what'd be
that-
interesting
like
is
a
if you
trophy
can hunt.
room.
If you can hunt like
Somebody-
gators and then sell them to like.
Well,
There's
that's
a
what
way
it
for-
looks like is happening in one of the screenshots because there's a
you go
fucking
gator fucking
there's
fishing.
a police chase happening in the bayou, and this pickup truck is hauling a bed, and it's got 3 gators tied up on it. And I'm like, I wonder if they captured them live to bring them and sell them to like, some gator
Kind of like
farm
swamp
or some
people,
dumb
like the fucking.
So
Feed
I
the
hope there
bodies.
is a compendium because that is, I fantasize or whatever about like all the different fun things we could do in the future. One of them's like deep sea fucking big fish marlin fishing in Florida. Me, you, and Joe out on the boat.
Yeah,
Just
that'd
got
be cool.
we just got the fishing rods out and we're just trying
They
to
should
hook the
definitely
biggest
have
fish.
fishing.
It'd be
They had a
cool
good
if you
fish.
could
The
bring
fishing
it back.
system in Red Dead was pretty
Sick.
damn good. It was probably the best fishing game.
And if
that
you
I've-
could bring them back and get them hung, like it would be cool if you
Turn it
could
into
get
a
a
trophy.
property and do a trophy room. And
Yeah,
'Cause
hang
I
a
love
marlin
the
over your
Animal
fucking doorway,
Crossing museum was one of my favorite things of the whole game. The
I
aquarium.
want a fish tank, yeah, man.
Yeah, aquarium was awesome, and he does have a pet iguana in the beginning, or the pet snake, one or the other. I was like, oh, maybe that's it's a little hint or aspirational.
Lots to look
God, we
forward
could-
to. Anything other gaming? One other thing that comes to mind, the 007 game
Oh,
was
that's right.
announced.
That's right.
I was
We've
excited for
been
that.
talking about this, and I don't know if Joe said that he heard the rumor, or if he just said he wanted it made by the people who made Hitman. But it's a 007 game made by the makers of Hitman, and it's been a while since we had a good.
And it's
007.
interesting that they decided to go with like a different Bond. Like it's not like based off.
It's
of
a
a
new
movie or a
Bond.
character.
Yeah,
It's like they're making it their own,
Smart.
which is smart.
Yeah, that's
because
smart.
it's
You don't wanna
theirs.
make
They
it-
could do whatever creative direction they want. They don't have to split it with I don't know who owns Bond.
I don't know if I heard
MGM
right, but
or-
it sounds like you're going after 009. So
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time
that'd be
it's
interesting.
too closely attached to like a movie property, it's too handcuffing. Like whether you got to get the character model or you can't get the voice of the actor.
Pierce
anyway.
Brosnan
You're
is
not
only
have
going to do
Daniel
so many
Craig
voice lines.
or whoever, right? Like you know what I mean? Exactly. You're always going to suffer that. So it's way better. And he looks like young Tom Cruise or something to me.
Well, it's
so
apparently
far.
how he gets his license to kill. So it is it's a young Bond,
Love that.
which is I guess a different take
it
because
opens
usually
up to more opportunities for games if it's successful.
From
yeah.
the team that did Hitman.
Hitman, yeah.
So
And I mean, look, it's like I say this, and there's probably a lot of people, especially them youngins, that don't give a shit. But there was a time where GoldenEye was considered like the best game in the world. You know, like those James
Absolutely.
Bond games at a time were like part of. They were in the mix, you know, and it just petered out over the years.
I
I don't-
remember being amazed by the graphics and how you look at them.
it was the
Yeah,
first
yeah, now it's
console
something else.
first person shooter I can think of. You know, I'm sure there's other
It was
examples.
one
but
analog stick,
Horrible. Just the worst. Oh my god.
movement and
If you had
Direction- I
ever
don't know how they
played
did
something
that.
like Unreal Tournament, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
PC.
Yeah.
Unreal Tournament was like, legit FPS multiplayer online, and that was sick. That was PC, and it was always like, when are we gonna get this on like a system? I don't think it happened until fucking Halo.
yeah. Now Unreal dominates the video game industry.
Yeah, Fortnite.
It's vanilla-izing everything,
Fortnite
helping
and-
in a lot of ways, but
Yeah, they're pushing the needle, but yeah, you're right. There's definitely a look to Unreal Engine 5 that it's hard for a lot of people to break because they're not using their own assets. They're using like assets from the
Unreal.
library. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, this kind of
They'll change the texture
Everything
on
kinda
it.
looks the same.
the new
yeah,
Witcher.
it's-
Did you see the demo for the Witcher? So there's a tech demo. It's the new Unreal Engine update, and it's not Witcher 4 actual like build, but it's all the Witcher 4 assets that they're going to be using in the game they're building because they announced they're going to use Unreal Engine.
And they
So
for
they demoed
Cyberpunk
it.
2 as well. Isn't that going to be Unreal?
It is, yeah. They're not CD Projekt Red, who does both of those.
See, that makes me a little sad. I mean, because like I
Their
know
engine
that there
was
was
always cool.
problems, and that's part of the reason why it took so long for the game to come out. And there's a lot of things to work around. But everybody's being pressured to license or leverage Unreal's system, and though it does make things easier for creators, like imagine
is it taking Rockstar 13 years? Because
Yeah.
they make the fucking engine.
right. Well, and that's the
fucking
thing.
I
from
think
scratch.
that's gonna light a fire.
Want
under,
Red Dead? You want
Unreal,
Grand Theft
though.
Auto on Unreal?
That's what I'm
No.
saying. Could you imagine, like, because
No,
somebody said this
don't.
on like this Oblivion Facebook group that I'm in, and they were like, I want to see it remade in the Unreal Engine, and I was like, the Bethesda system, the Bethesda engine is very unique. Every one of their games has that same feel, and there's like that
Broken.
object permanence. It's a little buggy, but also it's
little.
quirky. Oh, come on. You've had a lot of
Get
fun.
the fuck out of here. It's
One
got more
quest
bugs
bugs.
than a fucking motel.
Can't get
Well,
the-
when
the
you're trying to
platinum
get
thing's gonna-
100%, of course, if one
Remember?
quest bugs, that means that one out of all those other things is bugged.
All right, well,
It
we
actually is a low
started this
percentage.
I've
show.
never had another game
Rob-
company made game-ending bugs.
All right, but ready? Not even game. That's
It's not a
the-
game-ending
that's not the
bug.
thing
You
that's
couldn't
killing
take a
him.
picture and get a trophy.
That's the thing that's getting.
It's
him.
the platinum.
Oh, it's the platinum.
How the fuck do you
Can't
make a
get the-
game and you can't
He's
get a
got that
platinum?
OCD. You ever see The Accountant? He can't finish the puzzle. He can't
Yeah.
finish the. Oh, it's gonna kill him. So the big arc of Rob hating, loving, he's back to hating them until
But
he can get
if-
that platinum.
If Bethesda games,
that
if
hits
Skyrim was made in the Unreal
No,
Engine,
I
it
just
wouldn't be
know
Skyrim.
When he said it, I was like, "What? Can't get the platinum?" One
There
picture.
was one fucking picture in the Indiana Jones game that just, the game won't register that it's taken.
and
a
it's
known
Indiana
glitch.
Jones. It's one of Rob's favorite things.
It's a
yeah.
sin.
It's a lesson.
The Indiana
Humility.
Jones platinum can't be gotten because you can't take a picture.
Belongs in a museum.
Bethesda, what are you doing?
Cell Lake-
nobody wants Skyrim on Unreal. Stop.
But I honestly think that once
Unreal's
once,
also broken.
once
They have
GTA
a-
6 drops and we're going to see the technology behind it, it's going to light a fire under the asses of the rest of the industry, and I think it's going to start pushing the envelope a little bit more because I think they've gotten to a point where they're pretty comfortable with what they have, and I don't think that
Yeah.
you
Nintendo.
need that healthy competition.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Everybody
can't-
needs.
They're not going to let it slide that GTA 6 is going to be so much better than every other video game forever. It's
Like every once in a while, James Cameron comes out with a movie. Right? It's like every 10 years, some shit like that. And yeah, people can hate on Avatar all they want, but like when it came out, it was like, holy shit, like this looks fucking crazy. I can't believe.
you
And
like
everybody was like,
baby.
wow, we really got to up our game. Like we're definitely not helping push the boundaries of the medium. And Rockstar is always one of them. Kojima's another one. He actually said Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2 are just like his like beta like test games, and he's got a bigger idea.
projects?
Yeah, he's got something bigger planned. I was like, dude, I don't know if I could handle any bigger from this guy. This will take
Got
125
space in his
hours.
fucking head.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's on another level. So playing Death Stranding, I can't wait to play 2. Me and Joe are hyped for 2. And then it's going to lead right into Metal Gear in August. So the next couple months.
I don't know when the online comes out. I don't know if they have a
You're
release.
gonna call me crazy,
believe
but
it
I
when I
might not
see it.
get Metal Gear right away just because I just played it.
That's why I didn't
Yeah,
play 3.
You'll want to get it when everybody's playing it.
Yeah, you'll see it. You want.
I would still say play 3 and then play the remaster right after.
I got other things.
Because there's a
that-
game you want to replay. It's not that long, honestly. It's not gonna take
I
up
still would have
your
to play
life.
through most of 2. So I have a lot of 2 left.
Are you still going through 2?
Yeah.
I never
didn't
played
play 2.
4. I never
Two's
never
great.
finished the series.
Yeah.
and-
It's just 1 was enough, and I started 2, but then I was like, all right, let me do something else.
Death Stranding. So go back to 2. At least play
I
that
did
before.
1,
yeah, I
2,
played
and
Days Gone
Snake
right now.
Eater. I did all 3 of those.
And you
Then
did
I went to the.
Snake Eater. You did the Peace Walker.
Did.
You played Peace
But I
Walker.
did I not finish Peace Walker?
You had some kind of issue at the end. I
Yeah, it
forget.
was like one of the.
you
last
couldn't beat
missions
one
I
of the
couldn't-
bosses. You
Yeah,
just
it was a
couldn't
pain in the ass.
beat the Peace Walker.
Oh.
You didn't you get your PS3 so you could play Metal Gear Solid 3?
Yeah, that's why everybody was clowning me in that video that I posted on my birthday, doing the surfing bird.
Why?
Because I had a PlayStation 3
Oh,
in
they
front of my
put-
television.
oh,
Like,
yeah,
"You
they were
playing
saying-
Fortnite on PlayStation 3?
yeah.
What the
remember that.
fuck? He owns a game system that once existed? Like, what?
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 3, which was a good game. It was
Well,
weird.
And I did mention that, you know.
It was different from a lot of the other
3?
ones. 3 was kind of strange. Then they came out one where you play as like full blown cyborg Raiden, which was like a slash kind of
Oh,
game.
that was
that
when we
was-
could cut trees in half.
yeah, it wasn't
Keeps
really.
holding that up as why could you do this back then?
Yeah.
Not now.
Because
Because there was 4 trees in the scene, not like 600.
Right
trees.
in.
Like,
and then they came out with Phantom Pain.
that was 4.
There was 2 parts of it. It was Phantom Pain and
That was PS3 though, wasn't it?
no, it was PS4. It was one of the first PS4 games that you could play.
So wait, what Metal Gear Solid 4 though, wasn't that
Metal Gear Solid
PS3?
3 was
No,
on
Peace Walker
PS3.
was 3.
Peace Walker was
No,
on
Peace
PS3?
Walker wasn't.
I'm sorry. Metal
Peace-
Gear Solid 3 was on PS3? I thought it was on PS2.
So you had Metal Gear Solid 2 and Snake Eater, which wasn't considered 3.
Oh, I gotcha.
And then you have Metal
Snake
Gear
Eater was on
Solid
PS2
3 was
though.
on PS3. And then you had on
that's-
PS4 you had
Phantom Pain,
Phantom Pain,
and then 4.
and something. They were the same game. It was just Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Yeah,
But they came
Peace
out
Walker
separately.
Was on PS3.
And then there was actually, was that it? That might have been it. But at that point, once you played Phantom Pain, it wasn't David Hayter voicing Snake anymore. It was Kiefer Sutherland.
But it wasn't really him.
At the very end, you find out, spoilers, that it was a guy that was in a helicopter crash that they just gave plastic surgery and hypnosis to believe he was Snake. So, okay.
What a fucking weird story.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, Kojima is just from outer space. He's a total. Whatever's
How do you
going on in
clone
his head,
somebody
I
by
wouldn't want.
using an arm?
I wouldn't
You know
want
what I
any
mean? Like-
part of.
Well, that was the whole idea. He wasn't actually. Oh, you saying clone somebody?
Yeah.
Well, you just need the DNA.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you attach the guy's arm to somebody and his personality takes over.
Well, it ends up being revealed that Ocelot hypnotized himself
To pretend
to
that he was-
believe that he was, because it was part of the role that he was playing from the Patriots. It was all about the Patriots controlling things and you know the puppet strings and I don't know.
Strange.
I don't know. Metal Gear is
I
a
mean, it was
fucking
good game,
mind
but it was
fuck.
strange.
Yeah. Well, that's Kojima. You know,
Some
it's-
comments.
you always feel a little unease.
What's going on in the
Selig
comments
discovered that there's sharks in GTA 5. They added them a couple of years ago. They weren't on GTA 5 for a while, and then they
Here? They were
finally
in the story mode.
they were in the story mode.
but not online.
Very few and far between. And then when they like enhanced it, and then the newer gen systems, they added more flora and fauna. And yeah, there are sharks. I haven't actually ever seen one online. A shark. I haven't been attacked by one. I don't think.
It would be sick if you could, like, jet ski.
Oh, in 6? Of course. That's. I mean, you can jet
What?
ski in 5.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's already screens of that. You can see that.
And then, like, dolphins and shit. Would be,
There's
like, jumping.
dolphins. There's turtles.
It'd be
There's tang fish and coral reefs.
Surfing would probably be another thing you could probably do.
Surfing's one of the big allegeds because, funny enough, Rockstar did an old school surfing game back in like whatever 2000s for PS2,
Oh, no shit.
and one of the big rumors behind this game is that the water physics engine is the newest and most up to date that's available. It has its own liquid, like fluid, dynamic system where like flooding can happen
Like
and
the ray tracing
water
of water.
gather. Yeah, exactly. Water can gather and bubble. You can see it in the screenshot, or not the screenshots. You can see it in all the frames of the trailers where. In the first trailer, that guy actually he jumps off the back of a truck and like elbow drops a table and snaps it in half. I don't know if you remember that scene. And when he does it, he's got a beer bottle in his hand, and the beer just splashes everywhere out of the bottle. And it's almost like, oh, is that like cutscene? You know, is the first trailer. But then in the second trailer, when he's walking out of the store, you see the liquid bouncing
Sloshing
around,
around.
which, okay, that's a little bit of an example. But then you see the beer on the table. The cold beer in the bottle is actually
Condensation.
condensating, and the other bottle's not as full. Then you see later the friend Hal, or I can't remember the guy's name yet, but he's like, yo, hook me up. And when he's doing it, he's got the bottle in his hand, and the bottle's spraying beer out of it. And it's like, it's so many little subtle hints and drops that the water itself is independent of the bottle. It's not like, oh, we just, use the little fun flippy effect that
Animation.
makes it look full, but it's they've been hinting at, and if you look at the water, a couple of the boat scenes, like it looks like it has its own, it's not just a splash pattern behind it where it dissipates and disappears within a couple of feet. The way the wave breaks out and the foam, and it's like, oh, that looks a little bit more detailed than we've ever seen. So yeah, surfing and the ability for the waves to crest and surf.
If it's true
I
that
was
they're
like,
struggling
what?
with the story, and I'm glad that they're pushing back the game for them
It's
to
an
perfect it.
absolute
I don't even
fabrication
buy
of the
that,
truth.
you know.
It's like anything, any movie, any piece of entertainment. They're always down to the wire trying to tweak and get things really feeling perfect. But
Speaking of trailers,
It's
they
not,
actually dropped the trailer for the Crow fan film that I'm in.
oh, I
Red
saw
Soldier
that. That's
is
cool.
from that, yeah.
That's fun.
Yep. I'm
It's
in
been
it
a
for
year.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
Comic-Con?
The premiere is going to come out October 30th.
Mm.
They want me to come
Good
to the
timing.
red carpet thing. That's going to be 2 days before my birthday, so we'll see if I go. I don't like doing things on my birthday.
I don't like doing things in general.
I'd
But on
like
that
to
note-
see car crashes more realistic.
Yeah,
Like when
Selig said he wanted to see more realistic car crashes. I mean,
GTA 4.
GTA 4 did feel like the vehicular damage was like more
Vehicular manslaughter.
like whoa, like you get that tin can a little bit. Whereas GTA 5, I feel like
Arcade.
there's like a resilience to the vehicles. Like they'll still fall apart and blow up eventually, but they don't crumple as much as
GTA 4. Actually, that's another thing about 4 and 5. And 4, when a car would turtle, it would turtle, and it would light on fire.
Yeah.
You'd have to crawl and run. In 5, they didn't want to do that, and I feel like they didn't want to do that because if you're up north, there isn't enough density, like population density, to roll your car
then
and
go
not have
find
to
a new
run
one.
by foot for hundreds of fucking feet before you find something or somebody. Where I feel like if the game was more dense, you'd actually prefer the car be damaged when it
Well,
rolls.
My counterpoint to that would be if you do remember, you can't do that right off the bat. You have to get your driving skill up before you're able to turn your car over when it's turtled.
Oh, that was in the story.
I think in the story and definitely online, but it's
Really?
yeah, you couldn't turn your car over in the beginning. You had to like get your driving skill up, and then now
It's
you're
12
able
years
to.
ago, bud. How do
But
you
we
remember
leveled
that
up
shit?
so many years ago that it's it's forgettable.
Never
And
remember
also
that.
there were several times even with that where our car blew up in the middle of nowhere and we were fucked back in the day.
RP comes to mind when I think of that.
Oh man,
It's like,
Lot of
oh,
good
wow, I
times
feel
on there.
really stuck. I'm up in Paleto Bay.
yeah, we
It's
got
gonna
half a
take me
tank
like
of
a
gas
fucking
left. We got to get back.
Uh-uh.
I would, you know what? I think it's time that they put a gas gauge. Don't make it annoying. Like I fill up with gas. It lasts
It's
me
gonna be annoying
weeks.
if they can blow up the fucking stations while you're trying to gas your car.
Online's a whole other bag of tricks, but just in story mode, I could see that. Gives you more incentive to go by a convenience store.
Even online, maybe they make it a place where you can't shoot other people. Like they make it one of those areas where it's like safe or whatever. But I think
it
that
would
would
be
be
nice
sick.
because it would give proximity to chases and
Yeah.
it would limit and give more flexibility to like, all right, if I'm running away from somebody or I'm starting some shit, I got to think about it before I go in. Like, did I fill the gas tank? Like,
Yeah.
Gotta have a full tank
Gonna be
before I
going
go fuck
up
with this
north.
guy.
We got to fill up the tank. We're going way up north.
Yeah, there's.
Way up.
I think about how arcadey versus sim do you want it to be, and there's definitely a fine balance. Like,
Yeah, I mean, in real life, you fill up a tank of gas, it lasts for a week or two. Unless you're
Yeah.
really taking a far drive. So it doesn't need to be
the
an
whole
annoying
game is
thing.
driving, so you're gonna be blowing through gas like crazy. It depends on the type of vehicle too. I bet you they're gonna, gonna have different gas.
You gotta get
mileages.
super turbo
that
gas
sh-
or
that
whatever.
shit, that shitty car doesn't get good gas mileage, whereas a new car, a new Benz, will get decent gas miles.
Get an EV.
Or you get like a
Get a
fucking,
fucking electric.
you get a fucking Hummer and it just blows through fucking gas. But it's
Yeah, you're
powerful.
filling it
But
all
that would
the
be
time.
funny. That would also be funny too. You got to load up on diesel. For a truck.
Well,
But
it would give a reason to have all of the convenience stores and everywhere be robbable, and like allegedly the number was 700 interiors. 40 to 70% of all interiors are enterable. So if you want all the gas stations, like it's like if you want them to program all of that, right? Let's just say the work behind it. Like you want people to see the work. The whole idea behind everything you're doing is that like you hope everybody sees everything you've done. And some things, it takes longer to figure out or find the little nook. But like, if you're gonna make all the gas stations in Vice City an enterable, shoppable, whatever, grab beer, fill up your car. Like, you want to give the player a reason to go there, and filling up the gas tanks definitely like. Oh, I like this gas station. This is like I don't rob this one. This is the one I don't rob. It's close to my house. I don't want to bring shit like that. I like that kind of stuff. I like thinking like that when you're in the game. That's immersion to me. It's less arcadey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We shall
still
see.
got like what, 10 months, 9 months, some shit.
11 months.
I mean, it's already fucking June 13th. I can't believe half the month's over.
I'm saying it's gonna
It's
be here before
disgusting.
we know it.
No, it's
That's why I don't
disgusting.
think about it.
It's not good actually.
But
It's
I'm an
horrible.
anime fan, so I have to be fucking patient. So
Yeah, sometimes you wait 3 years for some of this shit. Fucking One Punch Man still doesn't have season 3.
Hey, George is still working on the
George,
Demon
uh,
Slayer movie in July. I mean,
I saw
September.
they were like a publisher came out and said, George, the book and the show ended identically, and then George scared. He doesn't want to release the book. And it's like, oh my God, you people have too much time.
He did put out a blog post recently talking about George R.R. Martin, author of Game of Thrones books, Song of Ice and Fire. He did put out a blog post that was like, say, a little like sardonic and like dark humor in a sense. He was very just like, yep, I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna finish the books, I'm gonna die because I'm old and fat, and you know, I don't care about the books. He's like, I know I made this other thing, I know you guys hate it because it's not the sixth book, but you know, he's pretty much saying like, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do, I'm working on the book, but you know, it was like a little bit of a fuck you.
I'm sure,
which, you know, good for him.
I'm sure
Do they
eventually
know what kind of like progress he's made? Like, is he like?
Doesn't matter.
Hundreds of pages.
How long did it take
hundreds
Tolkien to
of
write?
pages.
Nobody could tell me how long it took Tolkien to write.
There are chapters of it that have been like really. He did like 3 chapters that he read at like different conventions or events or
Tolkien
something
wrote
like
the
that.
entirety of the fucking Lord of the Rings in the time that.
But Lord of the Rings is
You're saying it's not
tiny.
Nobody thinks about it. Because Tolkien's been dead for 50
it's
fucking
tiny compared
years.
to like if you compared the length of the
So
books
that
for all
doesn't matter.
the Lord of the Rings
You know what
books
I mean?
to
Who cares how long it took him?
it's nowhere near as long. Game of Thrones is one of the longest book reads that you could possibly.
the longest books.
There's
I've
like a
ever read.
breakdown somewhere a graphic that'll show you all like the books throughout time and like Harry Potter, that whole series and this whole series.
Those were some big books too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Beefy.
Thrones dwarfs Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
Harry Potter's double spaced in the thicker hardcover books. So.
yeah.
Game of Thrones is not double
I
spaced.
remember when I read like Harry Potter 4. I was like, this is the longest book I've ever read.
Yeah.
It's like a 700-page book,
Yeah.
734 pages.
Yeah, approaching. I think what
And I think
900.
the next one was like 800 something, right?
Half Blood. Was not Order of the Phoenix. Was I think the longest one was Goblet of Fire.
No.
Aside from 7.
No, Goblet of Fire was 4. That was 700 something. The Half-Blood Prince, I think, was the one that came after that, right?
No, Order of the Phoenix was after
Order of the
Goblet.
book after book 5 was the longest book.
What was the last book?
It was 800 something pages.
Couldn't have been Order of the Phoenix, could it? I feel like that one wasn't that long.
Well,
I remember-
we could do a whole
I
episode
remember
on Harry
reading
Potter.
4 and saying this is the longest book I ever
they're
read,
getting-
and then the next
they're
one
getting
came
ready
out, it
for
was
that
more
show.
pages. I was like,
That
What?
show's gonna be one of those things where it's like gonna be so. It better be so good, and it's still gonna be so hard to live up to the hype. Just the fact that show doesn't have John Williams music is gonna be like, how do I get over this? How do you make? You got to have Ramundi do the music for Harry Potter.
Raman Djawadi.
Yeah, I just call him Ramundi because that's what I see in my head when I see it on screen. But he's the only one I would trust to like do a.
Why isn't John?
fantastical-
Wait, because he died, right? John Williams?
No, it's just so fucking.
Is he dead?
John Williams did
John
the.
Williams is still alive.
John
Why
Williams
isn't he
did the
doing-
original.
Let me put the
I
eyes
guess
on him.
I can't. I guess you can.
He did the original
Watch,
music.
I'll be reading the
Why would
fucking news now
why
for
would
the
you have
kids.
him do
gotta
this?
differentiate, I guess, too, in
Yeah.
a way.
So I feel like he would be the best. Rwandi would
Remember
be the best.
fucking Family Guy?
He'd be hitting you with the
They
string
accidentally killed fucking
instrument there.
John Williams,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
great, now we have to do the rest of the show with Danny Elfman.
That would be an interesting Harry
This
Potter.
is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. Halloween.
All right, I'm out of gas. Take us home, Rob.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Break Room Podcast with me, Chris, and Vin. Love you, Joe.
Joe, we love you, dude. Fuck.
We had him in the comments
Yeah.
with us.
It's got to
If
be
you
up
are
early.
new to the show, welcome. Please hit that subscribe and follow button and that notification button so you know when we're going live, because we don't know when we're going live. And Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, Joe.
Titus O'Neil.
Fucking table and the computer just shook. That is, no one was mad that you cut the whole You can go anywhere.
Do I do with that? Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it? Or
every pixel of the game engine into the face.
Can't say
That Dallas.
Stupid.
What did when that's like part of my Christmas